Shalom, shalom. Uh, damn, I'm forgetting my Hebrew words, but hey, man, we back at it again in the spirit. It's your boy Ash Ibad, here with my Akim. My Ox, and I want to give a big salute to all y'all Akim tuning in. Always, man. Before we get started, got to give all the praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakwadash. Yahweh being the name of the one true living power, the Most High. And the Yahweh Shah being the name of his only begotten son, our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shah, man. So we got a good topic because at the end of the day, man, you could be in this truth for 10 years, 15 years, 30 years, be the most devoted dude, had the most breakdowns, the most videos, know the scriptures. You could have it in your have a photographic memory of the scriptures. But look, man, at the end of the day, bro, you take that chip, you done. You take that mark of the beast, you done. You worship the image of the beast, you done, bro. None of that other shit matters, man. So we just want to break that down and understand why faith is the most important thing, because works are great and works build up your faith. But at the end of the day, bro, if you don't got faith to be able to get through, what we about to go through, man, you finished. So, we're going to break that down. It's not going to be too long, hopefully. But y'all brothers got any opening statements?
Hey, shalom, y'all. First and foremost, just want to give all the praises, glory, and honor. Salakia. Until the Most High Yahweh, doing so in the name of his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. And our Lord will his lessons edifying for the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, the nation of Israel only. Only nation Israel is for nobody else. But Lord will is edifying.
Yeah, shalom, everybody. I just want to, honestly, say I'm grateful for the Most High, putting the spirit on all of us brothers to be in this truth, to, edify all of you and also be edified by each other. And hopefully the lesson we have today will just be able to lift everybody's spirits.
Yes, sir, man. You took the words right out of my mouth, D-Ben. Amen. Shalom to the nation of Israel, man. All praise to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. May we continue to receive our daily bread, mental, physical, and most importantly, spiritual. Through all our transgressions, may the Most High bless us with the ability to stay on the path, on the righteous path to the end. And, hey, man, this is the big one right here. Prelude to the final battle. So let's get it.
Brother. Just real quick. Like you said, Ken, you said it's the prelude to the final battle. Through everything we go through on this earth, on this side, before we get to the kingdom, we got to think of it as that, like, it's all the Most High preparing us for that final battle, for that final hour of temptation of Jacob's trouble. The more that you're put off and vexed by this world, the better prepared that you're going to be for the time of temptation, for the time of trouble that's going to come upon the whole earth. So whenever you're going through certain afflictions or trials, tribulations from the Most High, just remember that it's just refinement. You got to stop. I mean, often, of course, chastise and affliction. Yeah, that's the words in the scriptures. And I'm not saying it's not viewed as such. I'm not saying that at all, because that is what it is. But we also have to take another stance and look at it as refinement, because when time of Jacob's trouble hit, man, you ain't gonna be thinking about none of that shit. You gonna be thinking about how to survive and calling on your power to help you and to protect you and to keep you moving and shaking. While the whole world is in chaos and all hell is ready to lose. That's the only thing that's gonna be on our minds. Not anything that you thought was important in the world. It's all gonna prove to be non-important when the time of survival, or when the time comes where it's survive or die. The only thing that's gonna matter is your current state, not anything that you thought to be important previously within the world. And in order to make the necessary, in order to make the proper decisions in the time period where it's survival or die, you gotta have the necessary spirit built up within you from Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, which comes through that refinement period that we're going through, so that you can win, so that you can not just go to the battle like Ken said, but you can win the battle, which is the ultimate goal for all of us.
Hey, bro, perfect point. And I want to get this in book of Ephesians, slowly becoming one of my favorite books. Even though I haven't read it yet, it's one of my favorite scriptures. This is the book of Ephesians. We're gonna go to chapter 6, as y'all all know. Start at verse 11. Again, says, "Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And I'm gonna just go down to verse 16. Above all, take the shield of faith, wherewith you shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. So you got to understand, faith is your foundation. F is F. Faith is your foundation. At the end of the day, faith is what allows us to follow the Most High. Your faith that the Most High delivers you, and your faith and your fear that the Most High will kill and destroy you if you don't do what he says to do. You know, at the end of the day, man, I'm going to read this in Revelation 13, because if we just being honest, this one precept is the reason why most of y'all are in this truth. So this is book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 16. And he causeth all, both in small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 6,300,666, aka 666. So, you know, at the end of the day, bro, like, obviously, you know, we in this truth for many reasons, you know what I'm saying? But the thing that you need to understand is that, look, bro, y'all all understand what's coming. You all understand what's at the, not the light at the end of the tunnel, because that's the kingdom, but right before the light at the end of the tunnel is a big fucking dragon, aka the beast system, and he's willing to devour your soul. He's willing to kill you, behead you, starve you, cause fake famines and droughts to kill you and cast you out. Get UN soldiers to come and take your family. He's willing to do whatever it takes to take your fucking soul. And at the end of the day, man, if you don't have faith in that day that Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai is going to deliver you, you pretty much live the vain existence in this truth, man, because at the end of the day, like Malak said last week, which was the inspiration of this live, he said that the Most High could just be using you as an outlet or avenue to feed his sheep, but then write you off for destruction at a later time if you don't got faith in him.
Exactly. And those are all beautiful points that you brought out, especially when it came to how the Most High is going to, you know, destroy the wicked. And it tells us that in Romans, the 9th chapter. But real quick, before we get on to the times of hardship to come, I just want to remind brothers what we're fighting for. Because, you know, once we understand what we're fighting for, we're going to be able to endure and thrive to the very end. So I just want to go to 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter. I'll start at verse 51. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, Death is swallowed up in victory. O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? The sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. But thanks be to the Most High, which giveth us the victory through our Lord Yahweh Shai the Mashiach. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as you know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. And those are just beautiful words by the Apostle Paul, just reminding us that at the end of the day, what we're fighting for is immortality. Think about it, brothers. When we inherit that kingdom, we're going to be ruling forever, forever. Like, you know, that shit is never going to end. And honestly, this is an aside real quick, but this is how you notice that the spirit of Esau has to do with wickedness. Have any of y'all brothers ever noticed in the movies or media or things like that, they always try to make it seem like being immortal is a bad thing? Like the person who's immortal always wants to die or kill himself, some shit like that. Y'all brothers ever notice that?
No, yeah, I know what you mean.
So it just shows you that, well, first of all, that immortality is not for them. But the main thing is that the Most High gave that blessing to Israel and only Israel. Of course, the other nations will be around in servitude, you know, building up our lands, you know, giving us their wealth and their treasures, but they're not going to have the gift of immortality that we will have. Because at the end of the day, that gift of immortality in that kingdom, that's truly when our salvation is going to come. Right now, we're in a low estate. I know a lot of you brothers, when you go to church, you're taught about how, you know, you believed in Jesus, now you're saved. Brother, you haven't been saved yet. You're still in Babylon, baby. It ain't over. But
still in captivity.
One additional precept going with what we're going to obtain during that time. It's Hebrews, the 8th chapter. I'll start at verse 6. And this talked about Yahushai. But now hath he obtained a more excellent ministry, by how much also is he the mediator of a better covenant, which was established upon better promises. For if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. For finding fault with them, he saith, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand and led them out of the land of Egypt, because they continue not in my covenant, and I regard them not, saith the Lord. For this covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. After what days? After those days of great tribulation, after the days of Jacob's trouble, after the days of the mark of the beast and all the wars and destructions that are going to come. If we're able to endure and make it to the very end, the Most High is literally going to change us and write the law in our inward parts. And once the law is written of our inner parts, that's what's going to give us immortality, because at the end of the day, breaking of the law is death. If you keep the law, you're going to be immortal. But I just want to finish the verses because it explains that better than I did. Verse 10. For this is a covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I'll put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts. I will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. For I'll be merciful to their unrighteousness and their sins and their iniquities, while I remember no more. In that he saith, A new covenant he hath made the first old. Now that which decayeth and waxeth old is ready to vanish away. So what does he mean in verse 11 when he says, No person will teach their neighbor, everyone will know the Lord? We're no longer going to be in a time where there's going to be prophets teaching the people. We're going to be the prophets and the priests, as it was the Most High told us in the beginning. He was going to make us a nation of kings and priests. So when that day comes, we're going to be the ones prophesying to all the nations across the globe what they're supposed to do, as opposed to prophesying and preaching towards each other. And that's just going to be a blessing. And not only that, even our children are going to be great and renowned. And it tells us that in Isaiah 61 verse 9. I'll just go there real quick, and then I'll let the other brothers say their points. So this is Isaiah 61 and 9. And their seed shall be known among the Gentiles, and their offspring among the people. All that see them shall acknowledge them, that they are the seed which the Lord hath blessed. I will greatly rejoice in the Lord. My soul shall be joyful in my God. For he hath clothed me with the garments of salvation. He hath covered me with the robe of righteousness, as a bridegroom decketh himself with an ornament, and as a bride adorneth herself with her jewels. Meaning what? The Most High views the nation of Israel like his wife. Why? Because we had that covenant, that agreement with him. So once Yahushua comes back and that new covenant is established, and we're given that immortality, that's going to be us decked in righteousness. Y'all brothers can go ahead.
Con, and that was beautiful. And I just want to build off of that right there, because that's a very key element that we gotta keep in mind, man. You know, because that hope that we believe in is definitely achievable. All the great things, all the things that we can't even imagine on this side, kind of just seem like a little bit of a fairy tale when you compare it to our state currently in Babylon. When you compare it to the lowest state that we've been in, the fact that we're the tail instead of the head, the fact that the woman is ruling over us, the fact we got to deal with Esau every single day when we can go on our comings and goings. We got to work for Esau. We got to deal within his money system. You know, things of that nature. You know, we got to deal with people who of our own nation who are affected by the mindset of his society, you know, and not understanding what your standpoint and where you come from, and not being able to empathize with that tone that you may bring, to the point where like they see it as you trying to outcast yourself, instead of you trying to relate to them and be real with them and try to, you know, explain to them the reality and the seriousness of, you know, what you believe in. You know, they don't understand that because they're tainted with his mindset. So when we think about all those things, it gets vexing, man. I want to shout out my brother GMS, Saints of the Most High. He did a video called "This Place Should Vex You," and honestly, man, it should, because that lets you know that you're in the right spirit. Because everything you see, your spirit is not aligned with. Everything that you see, your spirit is not intertwined with. You're not entangled with the wickedness that Esau even permits and promotes upon the entire world. the destroyer of the earth, as the scriptures say in Revelation the 11th chapter, that man that destroyed the earth. Not even just the actual earth, like the greenery, the waters, and things like that, but the people of the earth, destroying them within the mind. So when we see all of that going on in our society, in our world, man, that can really weigh on you spiritually. That can really weigh on you mentally and emotionally. But you got to gird up, man. You got to spiritually thug that out, gird up, and remember where your hope lies. Remember that, like as D-Ben mentioned, we're fighting for something incorruptible. So you can't let the vexation of this place, get you to turn, on Yahweh Shem Yahushua and lack patience in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because ultimately he knows the right time period. Like I said in one of my recent lessons, he has a bird's eye view of what's everything of everything. We don't have a bird's eye view, so we may be thinking, "Damn, hey, isn't there enough Israelites that know the truth?" We may think that, but hey, it may not be that way to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. He may think, I need 20,000 more souls woken up. I need 100,000 more souls woken up within the next year. So it's like we don't know. We don't have that bird's eye view, so we just got to remain patient to understand that his timing is the best timing, and we do. And the way we do that is by hoping by believing in hoping in what's promised to us, those incorruptible crowns, as D-Ben mentioned. But I want to get another scripture to build off of that. This is the book of 1 Peter, the 1st chapter and the 3rd verse. Blessed be the power and Father of our Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, which according to his abundant mercy hath begotten us again unto a lively hope by the resurrection of Yahweh Shai Mashiach from the dead, to an inheritance incorruptible and undefiled, that fate is not away, reserved in heaven for you. So that inheritance and that incorruptible, Salakia, to that inheritance, that incorruptible crown, that inheritance and that undefiled, that's all in reference to the kingdom, man. The kingdom is never going to fade away. The kingdom is we're never going to have another society where we're in captivity again. We're going to reign in rulership forever. And no nation is ever going to war against us. No nation is ever going to come up against us. And if they try to do so, they're going to get destroyed and they're going to get killed. If they try to, when I say that, I mean keep our law, not keep our laws, statutes, commandments, buck up against anything we tell them to do, they're going to get destroyed and they're going to get killed, because the Most High is going to be with us forever. When you look throughout history, only time another nation has been able to trample over us is when we haven't been in line with the Most High. But we're going to be in line with the Most High all the time, because as D-Ben read in Hebrews 8th chapter, we're going to have them laws, statutes, commandments written in our inward parts. So not only are that's the thing, the land is not going to be undefiled, because the people that's supposed to reign over the land and righteous people that's supposed to be the rulers of the land are no longer going to be undefiled, because we're literally going to be perfect vessels, and the Most High is going to abundantly pardon our sin. He's going to make us perfect, in the kingdom. So continuing on, and that's going to cause us the kingdom never to fade away, and us never to come out of power ever again. So these are glorious times that we have to hope for, man. So you got to always think about that and remember that in your walk, and when times get hard, where that real pressure is applied, and true potential life altering decisions have to be made for you. And you got to give up, and you got to really give up shit in terms of, like, you got to be okay with just walking along with just faith. You got to be okay with that, and part of being okay with that is remembering what we got hope in and what's to come on the other side for us. But continuing on, who are kept by the power of Yahweh through faith unto salvation, ready to be revealed in the last time, wherein ye greatly rejoice, though now for a season, if need be, ye are in heaviness through manifold temptations. So we got to rejoice through those manifold temptations. That's basically going through, when you distress moments, when you bog down in the spirit, when you got certain afflictions in the flesh or whatever it may be, when you got to deal with Esau, you got to deal with, the woman, you got to deal with your family. Yeah, the Jake woman, that's a big one. Then you got to deal with your family and your friends, or you got to deal with your own spirit warring against you, trying to take you away from certain understanding and try to take you away from your trust and your faith, man. When you're warring with all of that right there, hey, the scriptures say, when we're in that heavy moment, we still got to greatly rejoice, because why? We're being sanctified, and we're being preserved by the Most High to be revealed in that time, man, to be revealed. And honestly, that time is right now, because the Most High is building the tabernacle of David right now. Really, the Most High has been building the tabernacle of David for a long time, but in this society that we're in right now, he's bringing it to the forefront right now. Now, of course, it'll be revealed in the kingdom, or while we're in those cherries, that translation. But he's molding the tabernacle of David right now. So those are rejoicing time periods, because the Most High is priming us and preparing us to be revealed. When it's all said and done, when his word collapses, it's going to be shown, as it says in 2 Ezra 16, 70 on down. Then shall it be revealed who are my chosen. So that time is coming. But continuing on, verse 7, that the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Yahushua Mashiach, whom having not seen ye love, and whom though now ye see him not, yet believing, ye rejoice with joy unspeakable and full of glory, receiving the end of your faith, even the salvation of your souls. So I wanted to get that right there, because as Devin mentioned, but brothers, especially them in the Christian church, say, I'm saved, I'm saved, I'm saved. Hey, like you said, you're not saved yet, man. It says receiving the end of your faith, even the salvation of your soul. So the end of your faith being that very last day, that time of judgment, up until you got to keep the faith up until that day when them skies crack open and Yahushua come bust through the scene with that big ass chariot coming down, man. That flying roll, as it says in Zechariah the 5th chapter, man. And like it says, that's the trial of your faith, because you got to believe even though you haven't seen. You got to hope, even though we in this fucked up state in Babylon, even though we got to go through all this shit, on a daily basis. Some certain brothers got it worse than others, but we got to go through different trials and tribulations in our own walk from a variety of different perspectives. But we still believe in the unseen. We still hope in what is what is to come. And I just want to get one more precept before I pass the baton. I want to go to Romans the 8th chapter and just get this beautiful precept. Romans the 8th chapter, one of the most beautiful chapters in the whole Bible. But I want to get Romans the 8th chapter, and I want to start at the 23rd verse. And not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves groan with ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body. For we are saved by hope, but hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, why does he yet hope for? But if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it. So we got to wait for it, man, because if we was able to see it, man, that's not real faith. Then it's like, if you was able to see it, then you're not really being tried through the furnace. You're not really being brought through that affliction, man, because you already see what's at the end. So it's easy to go through something and just, okay, well, I know for a fact this is coming because I see it right here with my own eyes. It's easy to just go through shit, and because you know what, hey, I see it right there. It's you can literally see it in arm's distance, bro. But we can still do that, but just spiritually, and it's through the power of faith. That's why it's the gift of the Most High, as it says in Ephesians 2:8, because you got to really have strong faith to believe in basically, a kingdom that's going to come down from the sky, that's going to be gold everywhere, where the heathen is going to serve us, where it's literally going to be a world flipped upside down, where they're going to be on the bottom and we going to be on the top, and it's going to be glorious and righteousness everywhere, and you're going to have your life catered exactly to how you want it. And I want to get one more precept just to expound on that point before I pass the time, because I mean, we're gonna be literally getting it exactly how we want. We're gonna get everything exactly how we want it, from the jewels that brothers want, to the oils that brothers want, to the jewelry that brothers want, to the garments that brothers want, to the women that brothers want, to the houses and the mansions that brothers want, to the chariot. You're gonna have your chariot specced out exactly how you want it. Now, if you love music, brother, then you can do music all day. If you love building things with your hands and like things like that, bro, you could be the director of heathens building up your palace in your kingdom, man. If you love animals, brother, man, you could kick it with your animals all day. We're gonna be in harmony with the animals as well. They never gonna, like, you can be around tigers and giraffes and bears and jaguars and all that and be in complete peace, man. We're gonna get it exactly how we want it. No questions asked. The Most High is gonna give everything to us because we delight ourselves in Him, and we ultimately are going to show that we delight ourselves in Him at the very end when we don't take that charagma. But this is the book of Psalm 37th chapter and the 4th verse. Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Commit thy way unto the Lord. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. Man, the Most High gonna bring everything to pass in due season if we delight ourselves in him. If we don't take that charagma, if we are willing to walk solely on faith when the time period comes, and literally be naked, be like fleshly naked. Like we walk, we just all we got is our clothes on, and that's it. But we got that spirit, and we got the scriptures, written in our mind, and that's our faith, man. It's just like the book of Eli, man. It gets revealed at the very end of the movie that Denzel was blind. That's how we gonna be. We walking blindly on faith. We may not have access to a Bible. Man, the Most High may allow it for us, but we may not have access to a Bible at every single moment in the time of Jacob's trouble. But we got it in our mind, though. We got that faith. We got that spiritual foundation, within our hearts, man. And that's what's gonna carry us. And the Most High gonna be doing glorious works then, man. Brothers might be thinking of a precept, and it's like you just able to say the precept off. You able to say any precept that you want off the top of your head in Jacob's trouble. That's how it's gonna be, man. So we got a lot. We got that to look forward to. So always remember that, brothers.
Hey, Con, bro. Hey, beautiful points, bro. I appreciate you bringing that out through the spirit, bro.
Con.
And I want to build off what you were saying, because y'all brothers have showed us the light at the end of the tunnel. But the main thing that you're gonna need is this. Now, I know when you brothers read this, and I'll be real, I know sometimes I can hark on brothers to do the works and do the things and the truth, but it's just based off of love and devotion, But this is book of James 2:17. Even so, faith, if it has not works, is dead, being alone. Yeah, man may say, you has faith and I have works. Show me your faith without your works, and I will show you my faith by my works. Now, I know y'all like, why'd you read that? That's in reference to doing the work, because let's be real, you can't be fervent in this truth and not be doing shit. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But I will say this, when it comes down to it, the only way you can do the works is by having faith. And at the end of the day, faith is the foundation. So, it says faith without works is dead, but works without faith is dead, because a lot of niggas do works, but they're not doing it in the right spirit. A lot of brothers talk about that, in the book of Matthew, where it says the servants call unto Yahushua, and he says, I never knew you, because for you to have faith, you got to believe in Yahushua. Because think about it. The Most High is the faith, because you believe in the spirit. You can't see the spirit. I mean, we could get that in John. I think John in chapter 4. Let me see. It's John chapter 4, right? Where it says the Most High. Oh, yeah, here it is. This is John 4:24. The Most High Yahweh is a spirit, and they that must worship him in spirit and in truth. So you got to understand that the Most High is faith, because again, faith is the evidence of things hoped for yet not seen. You know what I'm saying? So you never seen the Most High, but who did the works? Yahushua. Yahushua was the one who did all the work. So basically, you got to have both. Just like how the Most High and his Son work in unison, you got to have those two things, man, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to keep you fervent, because you can't believe in Yahushua if you don't know who the Most High really is, like these Christians. But then at the same time, you can't get to the Most High unless you had a spirit of Hamashiach on you. So you got to understand that the first thing you got to remember is the Most High. And if the Most High is telling you and showing you something through somebody else, you got to believe in our Lord and Savior. So that's how you get the faith. But the main thing that you got to understand is that you have to be doing the right works in the right name, and not just the name as in like just the actual name, but just the reason for why you're doing the works. You see, a lot of brothers, again, we talk about Israel and shit like this, but again, man, a lot of brothers in this truth, man, they're in it for the wrong reasons. A lot of brothers in it so they can have a quote unquote good wife. A lot of brothers is in it so they can have a little following. You know what I'm saying? A lot of brothers is in it so they could feel good about themselves. But the thing is, the only reason why you're supposed to be doing this is because you devoted to the Most High. What is the first commandment? Thou shalt have no other gods before me. And at the end of the day, this is all just a test in whether or not you're going to follow the first commandment. What's the first commandment? Thou shalt not have any other gods before me. So you taking the mark, you worshiping the beast, is in a sense you blaspheming the Most High, because shit got tough, shit got real. At the end of the day, bro, you got to have faith that the Most High is going to deliver you. And once you have that baseline of faith, then you're going to move. Then you're going to go to the prisons. Then you're going to go to the wilderness. Then you're going to move without guns and all these shits, man, because you understand that you have that invisible armor that nobody has around you. And at the end of the day, dog, you know, at the end of the day, we do store up treasures in heaven. But this is what I'll tell you. Now we say you got to have a spiritual bank account. Well, you want to know how you default on your funds? When everything collapses. And how does everything collapse? When you lose the spirit. And this is the book of Ezekiel 33, chapter 12. It says, therefore, you son of man, say unto the children of your people, the righteousness of the righteous shall not deliver him in the day of his transgression. As for the wickedness of the wicked, he shall not fall thereby in the day that he turneth from his wickedness. Neither shall the righteous be able to live for his righteousness in the day that he sinneth. And what's the ultimate sin? I mean, the ultimate sin is blaspheming the Holy Spirit. And how can you blaspheme the Holy Spirit? By thinking that the Most High is not real and that he's going to deliver you. In that day, bro, they're not going to force this chip on you. It's literally going to be a conscious choice that you make when you have some type of affliction come upon you. So at the end of the day, bro, you can have 100,000 spiritual dollars. But at the end of the day, when you take the chip, basically what happened is that your bank closed, my nigga, and you have no access to the money. Meaning what? You have no access to the Most High Spirit. I promise you, man. If y'all brothers don't remember shit that I say, Lord forbid none of y'all take the mark of the beast. But if you see somebody take the mark of the beast, you're going to immediately see that spirit just fucking go out the window, dog. Like, just literally go out the window. So at the end of the day, man, it's not about what you've done in that moment, but literally what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. That's why it's so important to stay in the moment and not reflect on how far you've come or how far you can go, but just understanding and being able to deal with the day-to-day test that you have right now, because that's what's going to keep you fervent in the spirit whenever things come up to you at any moment.
Facts. Hopefully shit's good now, so I can speak. But apparently, ironically enough, while y'all was talking, whatever this crazy guy was doing, I mean, hopefully whatever's going on with him, may the Most High be with him in his troubles, because it's shit like that always reminds me that dark days are coming, man, and a lot of conflicts are on the way. Like this guy in the park right now looks like his wife, so who knows? You were just talking about that, Malak, but
Combo.
I want to get let's see, I want to start with Proverbs 9. Let's see, Proverbs 9 and verse. Just get a simple foundation before we get to the point. Proverbs 9 verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One, Yahweh, is understanding. For by me your days will be multiplied, and years of life will be added to you. If you are wise, you are wise for yourself, and if you scoff, you will bear it alone. And it's just as simple as keeping that, not only that faith, but starting with that fear, man, because you don't know what the fuck is coming. You don't know you don't know how this story is going to end. No one knows how this story is going to end other than Yahweh. But something that Brandon said, as Yahweh Shah said, please leave me for I do not know you. That's Brandon explained it one way, but it's actually double fold, because he's talking about from a commandment perspective and who the instructions were given to. And I just want to get it. Psalms. Let's see. Let's just get to the point. Psalms 147, starting at verse 19. He declares his word to Jacob, his statutes and his judgments to Israel. He has not dealt thus with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise the Lord Yahweh. So when you get a lot of these people, they're going to try to act like they did this and they did that. And, oh, well, I'm good this, I'm good that. Yahweh was like, I don't know you. You're not an Israelite. So I definitely don't know you. So I don't know why you thought you was going to get in just because you did semi or pseudo good works. Like, that's not coming for you. And let's see. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to get straight to the point of this. I'm going to get James, let's see, 5. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to start at verse 1. Come now, you rich, weep and howl at your miseries that 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 are coming upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver are corroded, and their corrosion will be a witness against you, and will eat you flesh like and will eat your flesh like fire. You have heaped up treasure in the last days. Indeed, the wages of the laborers who mowed your fields, which you kept back by fraud, cry out, and the cries of the reapers have reached the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. You have lived on the earth in pleasure, in luxury. You have fattened your hearts. Salakia. You have fattened your hearts as in the day of slaughter. You have condemned, you have murdered the just. He does not resist you. Now, the whole point of this is I want to get Lord of Sabaoth. What does that mean? Well, I'm gonna go to, let's see, Sabaoth. Let's see. Word there is, well, actually just, yeah, Sabaoth. It just says same thing. Lord of Sabaoth, the Lord of the armies of Israel, as those who are under the leadership and protection. BLB says Jehovah. Bullshit. But leadership of Yahweh maintain his cause in war. So what is that talking about? What is that army that he's talking about? Well, let's get the usual Revelation 7. Let's see. Let's just start at let's say verse 2. Then I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the great seal of the living power Yahweh, and he cried out with a loud voice to the four angels to whom it was granted to harm the earth and the sea, saying, do not harm the earth, the sea, or the trees till we have sealed the servants of our power Yahweh on their foreheads. And the number of those who were sealed, 144,000 of the tribes of the children of Israel were sealed. And then obviously tribe of Judah, tribe of Reuben, Gad, Asher, Naphtali, Manasseh, Simeon, Levi, Issachar, Zebulun, Joseph, Benjamin. All those tribes, 12,000 sealed from each tribe. So my point is, where the fuck do these religions get at? Because you're starting to hear more and more and more of these religions start to come around to the understanding of the mark per se, even though they're still getting it wrong because they still think the jab itself is the mark, which is not true. It sets the stage for it, but it's not true. But they're not getting saved. They're not going to be part of that army. It's not happening. Now, for any ladies that's in here, I highly doubt there is any. If there is, they definitely finna leave after I say this. But Revelation 14, let's see. Let's go with verse 4. These are the ones who were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are the ones who will follow the Lamb wherever he goes. These were redeemed from among men, being first fruits to the Most High and to the Lamb Yahushai. And their mouth was found no deceit, for they are without fault before the throne of the Most High. So at the end of the day, you got to figure out what team you're going to be on when that final battle is coming, because it's the forces of earth versus the forces of the Most High. The forces of earth, these religions, or the remnant of these religions, social factions, whatever earthly ideology, you get the point. Basically, the Tower of Babel coming together, and then the forces of the Most High is Yahushai, the angels, and the chosen 144,000 men of Israel. So, if you're not saying that every man's going to be there, but you can still be able to hopefully elect. You just got to figure out from the mind state, just from a basic sense, what team are you going to be on? Are you here? Are you trying to be here to fulfill prophecy, or are you here to prevent it? It's up to you. But at the end of the day, whatever choice you make, please understand that the Most High already planned that out. So, hey,
Predestination, brother.
exactly.
It's all predestination, man.
Exactly. I cannot tell you, neither can anyone else can tell you what decision that you're going to make in that time. Like Brandon said, there's going to be a time where shit's going to completely fall apart and you're going to have to make a choice. Everything is going to fall apart on earth and you're going to have to make that, you could say, that split second decision on what you're going to be. But please understand that the Most High has already basically put the spirit on you to make that decision. And for those of us that's in this truth, that understand this knowledge, hey, I look at it, there's a reason for it, but you got to figure that out for yourself, man. So you got to continue to keep that faith, and it all starts with what you do by yourself. The work start with what you're working on by yourself when no one's around. Are you praying? Are you calling on Yahweh Hashem Yahushai? Things of that nature. If you're not doing that by yourself, it's impossible to truly spread the word with truth and sincerity, because you're not even sincere when you're looking at it by yourself. So how could you be sincere when you're around other people? As a matter of fact, you really should be, what's the word for it? You really should be way more committed to understanding this for yourself than understanding it for others. Because at the end of the day, if people I can't really think of the precept right now, but it says, was it 1,000 will fall by your side, something like that.
Psalms 91.
91. It's 91.
And I think 8 or 9, bro.
Okay. Well, I'll just get it real quick. You said Psalms 91, right?
Yeah.
It's Psalm 91 and 7.
Psalms 91 and 7. 1,000 may fall by your side and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Only with your eyes you shall look and see the reward of the wicked, because they have made the Lord Yahweh, who is my refuge, even the Most High, your dwelling place. No evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near you dwelling. So it's that simple, man. Who cares if other people are not? We say this all the time, and Brandon said this in his live. If you're doing this for public attention, you're an idiot, because you should be paying attention by now that we're not popular people. Like, it doesn't make any sense for you to be looking for something that's pretty much impossible to obtain if you're paying attention. Like, most of us could be getting way more viewers and way more attention on our pages, YouTube, Patreon, whatever, wherever we're at. We can get way more attention completely teaching against this, basically being globalist / Marxist. We can be completely popular, as well as anyone else in this live stream right now. We could be way more popular talking about we are one and we are the world and all this other dumbass bullshit. We could do that shit right now. We can completely flip the script right now and be way more popular within the months to come. But that shit don't mean nothing, because at the end of the day, the Most High is not going to save you because you had clout. He's not going to save you because you had money. He saved you because you believe you are part of the bloodline, the remnant of the bloodline that believe in him only. So it's that simple. Nothing else is going to save you.
Agreed, man.
I want to bring out a quick one. In regards to 2 points that you just said. This is the book of John, the 15th chapter, and the 16th verse. Actually, and the 13th verse. And I'm gonna go down. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Ye are my friends, if you do whatsoever I command you. Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth, but I have called you friends. For all the things that I have heard of my Father, I have made known unto you. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you, and ordained you, that ye should go forth and bring fruit, and that your fruit should remain, and that whatsoever ye shall ask of my Father in my name, he may give it to you. He may give it you, Salat. These things I command you, that ye love one another. If the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. If you were of this world, the world will love its own. But because you are not of the world, but I've chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. Remember the word that I said unto you. The servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. So I'm gonna stop right there, because as the brother brought out, we're not of this world, so we ain't gonna get love from the world, man. We could get so much more out of this world if we dedicated our life to the world. But as Yahweh Shah said, the servant is not greater than his Lord. So we know that our higher power is always watching and always looking to see what we're doing, to see if we're keeping his laws, statutes, commandments, to see if we're doing what he instructed us to do, by being separate, by being a separate people and not being intertwined with the wickedness of these other nations. Because we got to remember, the Most High didn't choose us because we was great in number. He didn't choose us because we was um um great in stature and whatnot. He chose us. Honestly, he chose us because we were the least wicked nation. Like he said, he didn't choose us because we were so much more righteous than everybody. I mean, he didn't choose because we were so much more righteous than thou, in terms of like we kept everything perfect. No, he chose us because we were the most righteous nation. All these other nations, man, was wicked as hell. That's why they had no righteousness in them at all. That's why he only chose us, because we had some righteousness in us. So because he sees that in us, he gave us those laws, such commandments, and part of that is to be ye separate, from this world, man. So so he's seeing, are we entangling ourselves with the workers of iniquity, or are we, keeping the words of our Lord, and being okay with being hated by the world? Are we okay with being separate from the ideology of the society, and being so tied to the people who hold true to the ideology of the society? Are we okay with doing that for Yahweh Bashim Shah, like the scriptures say? If you love mother or father or sister or brother more than me, we can extend that to friend, wife, girl, baby mom, whatever niggas got in the world, man. If you love any of those factions, things of the world, money, cars, jewelry, sex, whatever that may be, your animals, whatever niggas got a strong affinity for. If you love any of that, or validation from others, if you love any of that more than Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, then you ain't worthy of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. That's just how it is. I just want to bring out one more. This is the book of Job, 34th chapter, and I'm gonna start at the 17th verse. I'm gonna start the 16th verse. Actually, I'm starting the 15th verse. All flesh shall perish together, and a man shall turn again to dust. If now thou hast understanding, hear this. Hearken to the voice of my words. Shall even he that hateth right govern, and wilt thou condemn him that is the most just? Is it fit to say to a king, thou art wicked, and to the princes, ye are ungodly? How much less to him that accepteth not the persons of princes, nor regardeth the rich more than the poor? For they are all are the work of his hands. In a moment shall they die, and the people shall be troubled at midnight and pass away, and the mighty shall be taken away without hand. For his eyes are upon the ways of man, and he seeth all his goings. There is no darkness, no shadow of death, where the workers of iniquity may hide themselves. For he will not lay upon man more than right, that he should enter into judgment of the Most High. So I'm gonna stop right there, because we got to always remember that, man. The eyes of the Lord are upon the sinful kingdom. He sees everything, man. His eyes are upon all the ways of man. There's no darkness. There's nothing. You can't do anything in the dark with Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. He sees everything. So he sees where your heart and where your spirit lies. And if you're someone who justifies someone who justifies the wicked and admonishes the poor, and you're pretty much a spiritual Babylonian, then hey, you're gonna get that same judgment that's gonna come with the workers of iniquity. So, like, if you're doing the work, this and the third, hey, what did Yahweh Shah say, man? The people will say in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name, cast out demons? Of course, we not casting out demons, but people gonna be saying, man, I called on you. I preached. I was out there on the highways and byways. I was saying Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. He gonna say, depart from me, I never knew you, ye that work iniquity, because your spirit ain't in the right place. Your spirit, you give out the actions. You You make it seem like you're a righteous Israelite to the forefront, but your spirit is just doing it to the but your spirit's not in the right place because that's just an action to garner the attention of men. That's ultimately going to show itself when you go take that charagma, man. When you go take that charagma, because your spirit ain't in the right place. The Most High ain't gonna have no one not take the charagma that he don't want to. If he has you marked for destruction in some way, shape, or form, he's gonna make your spirit weak in the hour of temptation to take the charagma. And ultimately, that's because your spirit wasn't in the right place all along, because you didn't really do this out of genuine truth and sincerity. You did this to garner the attention and to make yourself a name in Israel, man. Or you just, were just doing shit. You were just doing things just so you can have a group of people that you could call your own and whatnot. You weren't really doing it for the glory of Yahweh Basham Shah, or you were doing it so you can get bit young women, Israelite women. You know what I'm saying? So either way, you was doing it out of iniquity and not out of sincerity for the Most High and His Son. So all of that is in the context of the wicked, man. So just like the scriptures say, the Most High don't regard a person, but you regarding princes, and you regarding and kings and whatnot, because you're spiritually practicing the same things they doing. You just doing it with an Israelite twist. That's it. You just doing it with an Israelite twist. So because of that, Most High gonna put the spirit on you, take that charagma, because he sees that action right there, and your works ultimately ain't gonna mean shit. The only thing your works is gonna prove to be, brother, is that you woke other Israelites up. That was the Most High's role for you, to wake other Israelites up, but it wasn't for you to get saved. So we got to constantly be checking our spirits, man, whether we be in the right in the right spirit or not, because like the scriptures say, there's no darkness. The Most High see everything, man, and you not going to escape that. You're not going to escape that judgment. You're gonna get numbered right along with the wicked if your spirit is if you got a like spirit, man.
Facts. I forgot to mention these two precepts, but actually I'm just gonna I'm miss two. Mark 10, starting at verse 29. So yeah, I wish actually verse 28. Then Peter began to say to him, "See, we had left all and followed you." So Yahushua answered and said, "Assuredly I say to you, there is no one who has left houses or brothers or sisters or father or mother or wife or children or lands for my sake and the gospel's, who shall not receive 100-fold now in this time, houses and brothers and sisters and mothers and children and lands, with persecutions, and in the age to come eternal life. But many who are first will be last, and the last first." So it's just one of those things where that time has not come. Yahushua is basically talking about the great tribulation, like that time where uh um the world's love will wax cold and people's souls will grow dark, where the love will just disappear and they'll truly turn on you. I mean, you kind of see it a little bit, but it hasn't happened yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything is still pseudo peaceful, man. Like, the average person you see going on through your comings and goings is still pleasant towards you. Well, for the most part, but there are some exceptions to the rule, but that's life. But it's nowhere near on the level of the Great Tribulation. But you have to get into practice now of forsaking uh anyone, whether it has to be your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, your woman, or your quote unquote wife, or children, or lands like your home, or uh if you got a silly little church house, that too, uh a mosque, a synagogue, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be really forsaking that, abandoning that now. You gotta leave that now as much as you can, as quick as you can, because you're gonna have to leave it anyway. So you better be in that mindset and in the practice of forsaking as many people that were close to you as he can. Because I just want to get what is it? First Peter 5 and let's see. I'm going to start at verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, walks about like a roaring lion, seeking those whom he may devour. Resist him steadfast in the faith, knowing that the same sufferings are experienced by your brotherhood in the world. But may the Most High of all grace, who called us to his eternal glory by Mashiach Yahushai, after you have suffered a while, perfect, established, strengthen, and settle you. To him be the glory and the dominion forever and ever. Amen. So it's you got to understand that quote unquote Satan, the quote unquote devil, the adversary, the false accuser, the false bear witness, he's always, more times than not, he's going to start to hit closer and closer to home. Meaning what? He's going to be trying to use people that are the closest to you throughout your life to manipulate you into things that go against your faith in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. And you have, like we always say, the average person is not coming with you. The average person is not walking with you, man. It's not happening. So, hell, if you have, I don't know, if you told 20 family members the truth, you might get lucky and one, maybe two of them will actually hearken on what you're saying and will start to teach themselves in the scriptures. One, maybe two. And that's wishful, and that might be wishful thinking saying two. It's probably one. But that's the whole point. Like, this shit's exclusive. The Most High is an exclusive, believes in things being exclusive. That's what creates the value. So it's only going to be a select few, relatively speaking, compared to the world population, that's going to be able to inherit the kingdom anyway. So when you're in that mind state, a lot of this stuff, you just, in the words of Jay-Z, you just dust your shoulders off. You know what I'm saying? That's just it becomes like nothing. Like you basically become cold before the world does, because when the world grows cold, you're gonna see it. You're gonna see the average person not. You're gonna see them hating you with a passion, and you gotta be in the right spirit for that. You gotta be austere, like Yahweh Shai, because everybody hated him. Well, I won't say everybody, but most of Israel rejected him, and he came to save them. But hey, they rejected him still, and all the miracles they did, they rejected him. Nigga, you ain't done nowhere near that much. All you have is the word. That's it. So what you think they gonna treat? How you think they gonna treat you, man?
Exactly.
They gonna hate your ass. You start telling the specifics of these scriptures. Oh, this is for the nation of Israel only, and things of that nature. Man, haters, like that shit gonna be, your ass gonna be blacklisted before you even get blacklisted. But that's okay. It's all right.
And real quick, D-Ben, I know you're gonna say something, bro. Cause I was gonna bring out a precept, but I know you're gonna say something, bro. You want to say it real quick?
Nah, we can keep moving forward.
I just want to bring out this precept in Matthew because it's all coming down to how are you deep rooted. This is the book of Matthew 12, Salakia 13, chapter 4. It said, well, I'll start at 3. And when he spoke many things unto them in parables, saying, behold, a sower went forth to sow. And when he sowed, some seeds fell by the way, and the fowls came up and devoured them. Some fell upon stony places where they had not much earth, and forthwith they sprung up, because they had no deepness of earth. And when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them. But others fell into good ground and brought forth fruit, some 100-fold, 60-fold, some 30-fold. So I made that live, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, in regards to people are falling into their lots before we know it. I mean, before our very eyes. And at the end of the day, the Most High can change your lot just like that with the snap of his fingers. You feel me? But you got to understand, you got to look at yourself. You got to evaluate yourself. You can't be delusional. You can't, because a lot of times that's what all this leads to. A lot of y'all think y'all doing the works because you're deluding yourself with your own understanding, not realizing that when you actually look at the word, you actually look at it from a bird's eye view of who you are as a man or as a woman, you realize, like, damn, I'm defiled as fuck. Like, I'm really not in the right spirit. And you'll hear it from a lot of other people saying, hey, bro, you looking for vainglory. Hey, bro, you're not really doing shit. Hey, bro, you kind of just being prideful, but you don't want to hear, so you making all these videos, you doing all these things, you reading the Bible, but you just making yourself a more and more corrupted fruit. And this is the book of Matthew. I want to go to 13 verse 17. It says, for verily I say unto you, many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which you see and have not seen them, and to hear those things which you hear and have not heard them. Hear you therefore the parable of the sower. When anyone hears the word of the kingdom and doesn't understand it, then comes the wicked one and catcheth away that which was sown in the heart. That is which he received seed by that wayside. So when you think about it in that day, what's going to happen is a lot of people who realize what was going on and they hearken on to y'all brothers, or they hearken on to me or whoever in that time. But then pretty much Satan gonna take them firsthand. Like, hey man, you go back into society, we're gonna restore your death and give you a big booty bitch. Nigga gonna take the mark, right? Then you got verse 20. It says, he received the seed into the stony place. That same is he that heareth the word and with joy receive it. Yet hath he not root in himself, but endureth for a while. For when tribulation and persecution arise because of the word, by and by he is offended. So these are the people who are in this truth, but again, they're whatchamacallit. They're, like Malak said, they're just set up to be destroyed, or they're just set up to be sturdy on the outside. But think about a plant. It may look good on the outside, but its roots is all around stones. So you could just pluck that bitch up like it ain't nothing. You feel me? Like, a little mice could come in, pluck it up. A little eagle could pluck it up. You feel me? Because at the end of the day, you don't got nothing to hang on to. We hanging on to the Most High. We hanging on to Yahweh Shai. But you were rooted in stone. You ain't really deep rooted. You just a hypocrite. So at the end of the day, when that time comes, man, you see the mark, you see UN soldiers, niggas, you're going to have a panic attack. You're going to be bugging out. You're going to be like, I don't know. What should I do? And then you fucking done, man. You ain't rooted in shit. Nigga, you ain't rooted in a damn thing. You be reading the precepts, just skimming through that bitch like, I read 30 precepts today. You ain't do shit, nigga. But continuing on, verse 21, Salakia, 22. He also that receiveth seed among the thorns, he that heareth the word and the care of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choked the word, and he became unfruitful. Like the Malak said, you got a lot of niggas who isn't doing it for the right thing. So they know all the things that's coming in, but because they're doing it for filthy lucre's sake, they're like a fruit that looks really good. Yeah, have y'all ever bought a fruit and it looks good for the first 1 to 2 days, and then over time that shit just rot out of nowhere? It got like a little worm in it. It got like all this pesticides on it because it wasn't really good from the inside. It had a moment where it looked good, but then when the time came for you to pick it up and take a bite, you realize it was just a corruptible and a disgusting fruit. That's what Yahweh Shai is going to see, because he could just see your spirit. He could look at you and see your spirit inside. He don't gotta ask you shit. He could just read your mind. You're like, man, you was eating swine every other weekend. You wasn't really following the Sabbath. You was professing in my name for 2-3 albums and documentaries and reality TV shows. Get away from me, man. I'm not dealing with your ass. But Lord willing, if you do everything like how you're supposed to do, you're gonna be the tree that bears the righteous fruit, the fruit that Yahweh Shai is gonna want to bite from. Not literally, but he's gonna want to cultivate you, man, because he's like, oh, look at this fruit, man. He in the right soil. He got the right amount of water. He got everything he need, man. I was watching him from the time, and he never went away, man. So hey, come with me. We're gonna get risen up, and all these other fruits, I'm gonna destroy it. I'm gonna destroy all this shit, man. They all going to the dumpster. So you got to keep that in mind, man, because again, like we said, the works don't mean a damn thing. If you don't, like, you can follow the laws all fucking day, dog, but at the end of the day, bro, if you don't got the spirit on you, you just pretty much doing all that shit in vain.
Absolutely. I mean, everything. If you're not working with the right spirit, if you're not working with the right spirit, everything that you're doing, it's gonna be brought to nothing, man. It's gonna be brought to naught. Because if you're not coming in that straight gate, you're not coming in that proper door. We know what the scriptures say about that. Let's go ahead and go to the book of John. I believe that's the 14th chapter. But let's go to the book of John. No, I think it's actually not the 14th. The 4th chapter. Let me see. No, it's 10. Down off today. It's the 10th chapter. I knew it wasn't John, but 10th chapter. So let's go to John, the 10th chapter. So it's John 10:1. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is as a thief and a robber. He that entereth in by the door, he that entereth in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. So I want to stop there before I continue, because if you're trying to go up another way, if you're trying to go up the vain way, you're trying to go up the self glorification way, you're trying to go up the haughty way, but you still on the outward appearance saying Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, hey man, you know I'm but a thief and a robber. All you doing is taking this truth and depriving the people of being witnessing true light via your spirit. That's all you doing, man. You may be teaching people, but you're not giving them the right spirit. It's like you're giving them the right meat, but you're not giving them the proper nutrition of the spirit in terms of the more nuanced aspects of it, the fruits of the spirit, as the scriptures say. So you got to have both, man, because if you try to go up a vain way, if you try to go up in the way of exalting yourself, hey, let's what the scriptures say. Those who exalt themselves are going to be abased. You know what I'm saying? But those who humble themselves are going to be exalted. So you ultimately you're a castaway. You're a thief and a robber at the end of the day if you try to do it another way than Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai prescribed. And I'm not saying that you can't have nice things. I'm not saying that you can't feel good about yourself and love yourself. I'm not saying that at all. But if you're more concerned with being a name in Israel and a face and garner attention for yourself and be known as be known as the guy, you're trying to take replace of the guy, which the guy in Israel is not you. The guy in Israel, in terms of us as fleshy men, is Yahweh Shai. He is the guy in Israel. Everything, ultimately from a man perspective goes to him, and then it gets dispersed to us. So it's like you got to always keep that in mind, because the Most High is not with that self-glorification spirit, because he's the only one that's supposed to be exalted. And I'm gonna go to Isaiah the 2nd chapter real quick. It's Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 10. Actually, I'm gonna start at verse 5. O house of Jacob, come ye and let us walk in the light of the Lord. So we're supposed to walk in the light of the world. Not the world, the Lord. We're supposed to walk in the light of the Lord, Jacob. That's who we are. We Jacob, man. We're supposed to walk in the light of the Lord, meaning what? We do our very best to be as holy as he is holy. Let's go back to the book of 1 Peter real quick. Let's go to 1 Peter 1. This is 1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 14. As obedient children, not fashioning yourselves according to the form of lust in your ignorance, but as he which hath called you is holy, so be holy in all manner of conversation, because it is written, be ye holy, for I am holy. So we're supposed to be as holy as we possibly can, man. We're supposed to be holy because he is holy. Like Yahweh Shah said as well, be ye perfect as my father, or I think I'm roughly paraphrasing. Be ye perfect as my Father is perfect. Like we strive for that perfection. We strive for being holy in all manner of conversation. So when it says, "O house of Jacob, come ye and let us walk in the light of the Lord," that light of the Lord is holiness. It's not self-exaltation. If you're doing so, then you're a thief and a robber, man, and you're ultimately gonna be cast down because of that. Because, like I said, you're ultimately robbing the sheep and who you're feeding. You're not being a good shepherd, which is what this chapter goes into. You're not being a good shepherd because you're robbing the people of the proper spirit that's supposed to be associated with knowledge. You're pretty much just a Pharisee at that point. They had the knowledge, they had understanding. Now they were hypocrites, but they had the knowledge. That's why Yahweh Shah said, in regards to the wicked Pharisees, because you did have some righteous ones, but the wicked Pharisees, Yahweh Shah said, do as they say, but not as they do. Go, do the work. I mean, keep the laws. Do what they saying, but don't do as they do. Don't pervert them as they will pervert them. Don't be hypocritical in your actions, and at the top of all that, have the right spirit associated with the law as well. And that's extremely important, um, for us as brothers, because only the Lord is going to be exalted, man. But I'm gonna continue. This is Isaiah 2:5. Oh, house of Jacob, come ye and let us walk in the light of the Lord. Like I said, that light being that holiness. Now I'm gonna go down to verse 10. Enter into the rock and hide thee in the dust, for fear of the Lord and for the glory of his majesty. The lofty looks of a man or of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of man shall be bowed down, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. So it's ultimately gonna come down to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah, and then everything else after that, man. That's what it's gonna come down to. So you don't want to be caught in that wrath of everything else after that. You want to be counting the good graces of everything else after that, because you have the right spirit associated with the work in which you're doing, a spirit of exalting the Most High first and foremost, then His Son, and then everything else after that.
Yeah.
Not trying to usurp the order of anything.
Con, bro. And I want to also add this on, because you made a great point in regards to glorifying yourself. Hey, look, man, Yahweh Shah, man, he was the ultimate light. And then I want to get this. This is a
just real. My fault. Just real quick too. I just want to get verse 12 as well before you go. Isaiah 2:12. For the day of the Lord of hosts shall be upon every one that is proud and lofty, and upon every one that is lifted up, and he shall be and everyone that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. So you're gonna be brought low. You're gonna be brought to the very dust of the earth if you're proud and lofty. And ultimately, that's gonna come in the form of you taking the charagma, because that's when you're gonna be blood upon the ground. That's when you're gonna get trodden down that wine press. That's when you're gonna catch a missile in your damn forehead. That's when you're gonna be just like the other nations who are gonna get trodden down as well. You're gonna be just like that, man. Just how we always say, it's not for them. Hey, ultimately, it's not for you either. That's gonna be the reality if you are proud and you lofty, man. It's gonna come in the form of you doing the unthinkable. You come in the form of you showing your works not to mean anything for you, because you went and took that charagma. Because we like, it's like the Most High is gonna bring something in the physical for it to happen. Like this, the Most High is about order and structure, right? So He's gonna do something to manifest and to reason why he chose to do this to an individual person. So it's like you are proud and lofty, and the Most High is going to bring you low. But there's a medium in between that, and that medium is you gonna go take the MOB. And because the Most High is gonna put the spirit on you to take the MOB, He's fully justified in destroying your ass, because you ultimately know that He told you not to do that, but He put that spirit on you and put that delusion on you to feel like it was okay in that very moment, because of your proud and lofty spirit, which He also told you not to have, and you were trying to usurp the order and glorify yourself, ultimately showing no respect towards the Most High.
Exactly. And I just wanted to add on to the beautiful points that the brother Swim was talking about earlier. And like the main thing I want to just add on this, having a humble spirit, especially in these times, because the Most High in His word even tells us, when you go to Luke, the 14th chapter, verse 11, for whosoever exalted himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted. Meaning what? If you're a person who's trying to, seek vainglory and edification through men, having brothers, pat you on the back and praise you for how smart you are, how many precepts you can break down. Oh, brother, you know the Hebrew so well, brother. Oh, brother, I see you in the highways and byways each and every day, brother. If that's what you're looking for, then you're going to be at a very low estate when all said and done. I believe it was a Ghetto Genius who read earlier. Yahweh Shai said the first will be last and the last will be first. So a lot of you brothers who seek the glory at this time and you're first, when that time comes, you're going to be the last. And those of us who are humble and who are trying to seek the Most High early, He'll forgive us as well. And that's the promise that He always made to our people. And real quick, I wanted to go to 2 Chronicles, the 7th chapter. I'll start at verse 12. Even though the Most High was speaking towards Solomon, this what the Most High said applies to the nation as a whole. So this is 2 Chronicles 7, verse 12. The Lord appeared to Solomon by night and said unto him, I have heard thy prayer, and have chosen this place to myself for a house of sacrifice, if I shut up heaven that there is no rain, or if I command the locusts to devour the land, or if I send pestilence among the people, if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and will forgive their sin, and I will heal their land. Now we understand that this verse with the Most High is talking about to Solomon, all the curses that he's putting on them are physical, but you can also apply this precept to the spiritual and the mental as well. The Most High has put a mental plagues on us. He sent us a mental locust called demons. He's made our land, meaning our spirits, dry. I mean, that's why when you read Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, the nation of our people in this time were likened to a valley of dry bones, meaning what? We don't have the spirit of the Most High on us. We don't have the understanding, the truth. We honestly hate ourselves. But for those of us who are starting to wake up more and more, as we continue to wake up and we continue to cry and plead upon the Lord, he's going to answer our prayer and redeem us. And real quick, I also wanted to go to Psalms, the 18th chapter. One moment. And then I'll start at I'll just start at verse 1. This is Psalm the 18th chapter, verse 1. I will love thee, O Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer, my God, my strength in whom I will trust, my buckler, and the horn of my salvation and my high tower. I'll call upon the Lord, who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from my enemies. The sorrows of death compass me. The floods of the godly men made me afraid. Now, for you brothers who've actually read Psalms 18 before, when you read this, you might be thinking, well, brother, isn't this just in reference to David and the tribulation that he's going through? No, what the prophet David was writing had to do with us brothers in this time. And this is the prayer that we're going to be saying in our hearts and our spirits for those of us who believe in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. I'm going to prove it by continuing to read. Verse 5, the sorrows of hell compassed me about. The snares of death prevented me. In my distress, I called upon the Lord and cried unto my God. He heard my voice out of his temple, and my cry came before him even unto his ears. Then the earth shook and trembled. The foundations also of the hills moved and were shaken because he was wroth. There went up a smoke out of his nostrils, and fire out of his mouth devoured. Coals were kindled by it. He bowed the heavens also and came down, and darkness was under his feet. And he rode upon a cherub and did fly, yea, he did fly upon the wings of the wind. He made darkness his secret place. His pavilion round about him were dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. At the brightness that was before him in the thick clouds passed, hailstones and coals and fire. The Lord also thundered in the heavens, and the highest gave of his voice, hailstones and coals of fire. Now, I mean, I'm sure a lot of you brothers who read the scriptures will know this never happened during the time of David. This right here is a prophecy. All of us in this time period of the day, we're all calling and crying upon the name of the Lord, just wondering and waiting. When is his kingdom going to fall? When are we going to be lifted up? And when are we going to, receive our inheritance of righteousness? But the Lord is just through the prophets and through the scriptures letting us know that that time will come. And also with that as well will be a greater reward. But I just want to skip a little bit further in this chapter. I'll just go to verse 40. Thou hast also given me the necks of my enemies, that I might destroy them that hate me. They cry, but there is none to save them, even unto the Lord, but he answered them not. Then did I beat them small as the dust before the wind. I did cast them out as the dirt in the streets. Thou hast delivered me from the strivings of the people. Thou hast made me the head of the heathen. A people whom I have not known shall serve me. As soon as they hear of me, they shall obey me. The strangers shall submit themselves unto me. And this is the main reason why Esau, Edom, and his spirit that's infected the minds of the people, why they're all afraid of us in this truth, because they understand that the more of us are waking up to this truth and are proclaiming the word, that there's credence to the prophecies of the scriptures, that things that are written are coming to pass, and the ruling powers don't want that to come to pass because they know that when Jacob wakes up, man, Jacob's going to come back with fierce wrath and destroy all their enemies. And I'm going to get just an additional precept to get into that point. This is Zechariah, the 10th chapter. I'll start at verse 1. Ask ye of the Lord rain in the time of the later rain. So the Lord shall make bright clouds and give them showers of rain to every one grass in the field. Now, when you read verse 1, what is this in reference to? When it's talking about asking you of the rain in this case represents knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. It represents us brothers in this time period who've received the Spirit of the Most High, being that representing that rain. I mean, even Yahushua himself says those who believe in him will receive living water. So in this case, it will be a living rain. But continuing on, verse 2, for the idols have spoken vanity, and the diviners have seen a lie and have told false dreams. They comfort in vain, therefore they went their way as a flock. They were troubled because there was no shepherd. My anger was kindled against the shepherds, and I punished the goats. For the Lord of hosts hath visited his flock, the house of Judah, and have made them as his goodly horse in the battle. Out of him came forth the corner, out of him the nail, out of him the battle bow, and out of him every oppressed together. And they shall be as a mighty men, which tread down their enemies in the mire of the streets in the battle. And they shall fight, because the Lord is with them, and the riders on horses shall be confounded. So you brothers, man, I don't know about you. I can't wait for this day to happen when we raise up in the chariots. Because we ain't just going to be chilling in the chariots. We're going to come back with Yahushua and the host of heaven. We're going to be part of that host in that great destruction. Because at the end of the day, when we receive the glorified bodies and we become incorruptible, Yahushua himself said we're going to be likened to the angels of heaven, meaning the hosts of heaven themselves. So we're going to take part in this great destruction to a degree. And honestly, I can't wait to be a part of that as well. And it's just a blessing when you get into the scriptures, you understand the truth, because the Most High, from the very beginning, he told us what he was going to do for our people and how we were going to rule over the heathens and destroy our enemies. And then I just have one additional precept to get to that point, and it's the book of Numbers, I believe chapter 22 or 23. There we go. It's Numbers chapter 23. I'll start at verse 20. And this is a prophecy by the false prophet Balaam. But the Most High put the Spirit on him to tell the truth. Verse 20, behold, I have received commandment to bless, and he hath blessed, and I cannot reverse. He hath not beheld iniquity in Jacob, neither hath he seen perverseness in Israel. The Lord is his God is with him, and the shouts of a king is among them. Meaning what? Just like Swint mentioned earlier, the reason why the Most High chose us because compared to all the other nations, we were the least wicked. So the Most High didn't see perverseness and wickedness in us. And that was going all the way back to the time of Shem, Abraham, Arphaxad, all those brothers. They were all righteous men in the eyes of the Most High. And because of their righteousness, even though us today are wicked, we get a chance just because of our forefathers, man. So that's just a blessing. Shout out to those brothers. Verse 22, the Most High brought them out of Egypt. He asked, as it were the strength of a unicorn. Surely there's no enchantment against Jacob, neither is there any divination against Israel. According to this time, it shall be said of Jacob and of Israel, what hath the Most High wrought? Meaning what? If we compare it to modern days, all these different schemes that Esau uses when it comes to television, when it comes to the school system, when it comes to like how they programmed our women, and they through the women they program the children. None of that is going to stop Jacob from waking up. None of that is going to prevent us from understanding our heritage. None of that is going to prevent us from understanding that not only is the book meant for us, but the promises in the scriptures are meant for us. And at the end of the day, we're supposed to rule over you. We're the head and you're the tail. And that's how it should be. Continuing on to verse 24. Behold, the people shall rise up as a great lion and lift up himself as a young lion. He shall not lie down until he eat of the prey and drink the blood of the slain. And that's really what Esau Edom is afraid about. Because when we wake up and the Most High comes back with great vengeance, we gonna kill and destroy all you motherfuckers. Like Swin always says, we in the chariots, you're gonna be like, boom, got your ass, nigga. That's what they're really afraid of, man. And then I just have one more point, because I know Ghetto brought it up much earlier about how the Most High through Yahushua is going to bring that great destruction through the host, the heaven, and why he's called the Lord of the host. This is Revelations, the 19th chapter. I'll start at verse 11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness he doth judge and make war. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. He had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of the Most High. And the armies which were in heaven followed him, and upon white horses clothed in fine linen, white and clean. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of the Almighty God. So again, this is what the scriptures is about, man. It's not about loving everybody and God came to save everybody. It's called God, the Most High, came to save his nation of people, and together with his sons, together with his son, because we are joint heirs with his son, we're going to beat down all the other nations and let them know that they're beneath us, man. And continue on, verse 16. And he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven. That this is a reference to all the chariots and the angels and all the hosts of heaven. Come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great God, that ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, both small and great. Now, when you compare this with what I read in Zechariah, the 10th chapter earlier, didn't the Most High said himself that the nation of Israel would be used as a weapon? And when I read earlier in Numbers, through the prophecy of Balaam, did he mention how we going to be a lion, we going to drink the blood of our enemies? It's all connected, man. And this is what Esau is afraid of.
And for those of y'all brothers who think flesh is talking about cannibalism, no, it means devour. You devour your enemies, you destroy, you smite your enemies.
We're going to kill you, basically, and burn down your cities, just like the days of old.
Exactly, bro. And that's the spirit you got to be coming with. Sir, none of this poo pussy shit, man. And Malak had made a point earlier about you got to be humble. This is the book of 2 Corinthians 13 and 5. Examine yourself whether you be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know you not your own selves, how that Yahushua HaMashiach is in you, except you be reprobate. So I wanted to get that because, it's a day-to-day evaluation. Look, man, you're not going to be perfect. There's always going to be times where, you up and down and your spirit is up and down. But that's why you got to constantly evaluate yourself if the things that you're doing is from the spirit or a man, especially when you a shepherd, man, because again, man, we naturally are gonna do evil, bro. Like it is we're naturally gonna try to sin, bro. That's what the flesh is. That's what we are. But you have to override that with the spirit. And a lot of times the spirit comes with evaluating what you're doing before you do it. And also, having an understanding on what you need to be doing. Because a lot of y'all, you're scared to do something and not do something, but you don't know what's real from what's fake because you haven't studied. You just heard a random nigga on the internet. And you believe everything he said without testing the spirit. So also when you come into those points where you feel like you're doing works to glorify yourself, you got to remember what Yahushua said, man. This is the book of Matthew 5 and I'll start at 14. You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men that you may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Now, a lot of brothers think, oh, well, Yahushua said, let our light be seen amongst men. Nigga, I got to stun on these niggas. Nah, bro. What it means is that you have all the tools needed, to be the man that you need to be. But basically, you're just a light, a natural light, man, because the Most High is going to give you the shine. He's going to give you the light, man. He's going to let you be the light show, but it's not at your glory. It's for the glory of the Heavenly Father. You see what I'm saying? That's why Yahushua said, don't pray amongst men like those in the synagogues do, trying to seek vain glory. You're only doing it to do the will of the Father. That's why, even though Yahushua, obviously he wasn't trying to get fame or none of that shit. He was just doing things to help people, and it naturally came unto him. This is the book of John 13 and 31. Therefore, when he was gone out, Yahushua said, now is the Son of Man glorified, and the Most High is glorified in him. if the Most High be glorified in him, the Most High shall also glorify him in himself and shall straightway glorify him. You got to understand, when we get the glory in the kingdom, at the end of the day, people going to glorify us, but they going to glorify us because they understand that we glorify the Most High. You get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, they can't see the spirit, but they can see what we're doing in the spirit of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Does that make sense? So you got to always understand that the glory that you get to show on this side is only coming from the Most High. So you got to always remember who does it. And like I said, man, I'm not sitting here saying brothers can't do shit, but you can clearly see when a brother is just doing shit for vain fucking glory compared to actually doing it because he truly, truly, truly cares about somebody. You can tell, you can see, and the Most High will show you. And the thing that you need to understand is the brothers who do shit for vain glory, man, the Most High is about to give you the most finesse of a curveball. You know how a pitcher gives you a curveball? That bitch look like it's a fastball, and then right as your dumb ass swing, that bitch swoop. You know what I'm saying? This is what's gonna happen to a lot of you. He gonna give you a mighty curveball. This is Ezekiel 20:33. As I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, surely with a mighty hand and with the stretched out arm and with fury poured out, will I rule over you. I will bring you out from the people and will gather you out of the countries wherein you are scattered with a mighty hand and with the stretched out arm with fury poured out. Meaning what? In that day when shit really hits the fan, long story short, what's going to happen is that you're going to be scattered and he's going to gather you in. We're going to be in the wilderness, whether, the camps, prisons, whatever, out in the woods, whatever. But verse 35, it says this, I will bring you into the wilderness of the people and will plead with you face to face. Meaning what? He's going to evaluate each and every one of you to see what you truly made of. Verse 36, like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you. And I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant, and I will purge out from among you the rebels and them that transgress me. Meaning what? Even though a lot of us don't understand what spirit the brother is rocking with in that day, the Most High knew who the fuck you were from the beginning. Because not all the elect is not just going to be brothers who make it through to the end till the chariots come. There's going to be a lot of people in the wilderness with you that you could have sworn, bro, he been making, but that nigga was a worker of iniquity the entire time. And what happens is, Lord willing, you're going to be raised up and you're going to see a lot of niggas that you thought was going to be in there, holy men of the Lord, that's just going to be left on the ground, man, going crazy, trying to kill themselves, trying to, trying to make themselves fly, because at the end of the day, they were a rebel. Why? Because they didn't do what the Most High said. They didn't do what Yahweh Shai said the way that they were supposed to do it. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, you don't want to be cast in them. And I'll actually finish it and I'll read the end of 38. So it says, I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel. And you shall know that I am the Lord. So at the end of the day, man, the Most High, he's already marked those who's going to make it and who's not. Lord willing, we be of that. But, again, if you're a brother with a lot of pride, again, pride goeth before destruction. So think about the pride in this situation. You were so prideful into thinking that you were doing the work of the Most High, yet you didn't have the spirit, yet you weren't congregating with brothers. You had a shitty doctrine and you knew it was shitty, and people had told you and corrected you all the time. You still didn't listen. You didn't want to hearken on to the ways of a man. You thought you could just make it on your own. You were rebelling. And then long story short, the Most High said, you know what? Look, I'm gonna get this dude such a huge delusion to make him or her think that they're about to get raised up, and at the last second, I'm gonna leave his ass on the ground. Don't be that brother, man. Because if you that brother, dog, like, you're gonna really hate yourself. And if you come back in the kingdom, you're gonna be the laughing stock of Israel, bro.
Con. And the thing about it's a lot. The thing about it is too, is that there's gonna be a lot of laughing stocks out here in the world when the time of Jacob's trouble really ensues, because a lot of people are gonna be so perplexed about what's going on because they don't have that wisdom and that understanding to know that this is the will of the Father. Like, people, like it's gonna be crazy. You're gonna be in Jacob's trouble. Then people are gonna be running to and fro, wondering what's going on, wondering why America is in the scene that it's in, but not just America, the world as well, but specifically America is in the scene that it's in. And if you tell them, hey, this is the will of God, they're gonna look at you like you crazy. Like, this is the will of God. Why would God want to destroy everything? Why would God want to destroy his creation? Why would he want to destroy his country?
Hey, remember that shit we seen on Instagram where they said this is what happens when America turns its back from God?
Exactly. That's what people's mindset's gonna be. oh, God's only doing this because, you know, we polluted God's land, so God's destroying his land. Well, I mean, all the land belongs to God. But you didn't, but you just didn't know that there's nothing that you could do to change that. Prophecy is going, it's not, God's not destroying America because the people have made America so bad. God's destroying America because it's Babylon the Great via the scriptures and this prophecy.
Exactly. And just to add on, a lot of people will say, "Oh, America's turned their back on God." You were never with the Most High to begin with. You were wicked from the foundation. The Most High was just fattening you up for the slaughter, just like Sodom and Gomorrah, just like ancient Babylon, just like the Greeks. Even when you read Romans, the 9th chapter, you know, the vessels of, you know, dishonor that are created just so the righteous can see the power of the Most. In fact, the only reason you as America exists is so, Lord willing, those of us who are righteous can see the Most High's power through him destroying you. That's your purpose. That's your lot in life. You're not shit.
Pretty much. I mean, you summed it up perfectly. I mean, it's not some place where, you know, God wanted his people to prosper and thrive and this, that, and the third. This place is the way it is, where God's real people, the real people that are seeking after God, are in the state of being for our punishment. That's what people don't understand. Like, the people that are exalted in the society, they're exalted and they're put on that level because they're the whipping stick of God for his real people when his real people go off. That's what they don't understand. They think that God loves them, and it's just it's like people cast the rulers of this society as like and the people that dwell with them and whatnot, you know, like especially like the Republican Party and whatnot, and other high-ranking factions and people who kind of believe more into that patriotic life and, you know, mentality and whatnot. Oh, well, God's people have just gone awry for a little bit. They don't even understand, because most of them are Edomites. They don't even understand that it's not that God's people have gone awry. God's real people over time, that it was already embedded in the stone that his people were going to be delivered into a land that was modern day Egypt to serve captivity and serve punishment underneath the hands of the most vilest men of the earth. They don't understand. This is prophesied thousands and thousands and thousands of years prior to where we are right now. And the people that are on top right now, they're not God's people who've gone awry. They're not God's people who just gone astray and went into their own way. No, they were born to be the vile people that they actually are, and to be the punishment for God's real people when God's real people went off. That's what they don't understand, man. It was always set in stone to be this way. It's not God's people just, you know, taking a left turn off of his mission. His mission was to always have them on the left turn. That's what they don't get, and they don't understand, man. But I want to get a quick precept. This is because Young Ha, you brought out that point about the curveball and about you know, the Most High just flipping the events and whatnot. And I'm gonna stick with that baseball analogy for y'all who know baseball out there. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what a cutter is. And I'll say this: it's more like a cutter than a curveball, because in baseball, a curveball is much slower than a fastball. And a curveball, if a batter is has a good eye and has a real keen knack for finding the ball, can recognize the pattern of the stitches on the ball, or the seams on the ball, seams on the ball, and how the ball is moving, and can see the red seams on the white ball, how it's moving, to recognize that it is a curveball, because the ball is much slower, so it's easier to process via the eye, and the depth of the ball is different. But a cutter, the short term for cutter is the real term for the pitch is called a cut fastball. Basically, it's a fastball. It has a small cut to the ball at the very end before the ball hits the catcher's mitt. That's via the pressure that the pitcher puts on the ball via the index finger that the pitcher puts on the ball. So it's almost the same speed as the fastball. So you got a pitcher that throws 95. His cutter may be 93. His cutter may be maybe 90, 91 or not anywhere from 80, 89 to 91. But it's almost the same speed as his fastball, but has a very slight cut to the right or to the left. He's a left-handed pitcher at the end of the motion. It's a very small, short, abrupt cut at the very end, which throws the hitter off because it looks like a fastball the whole way. Then at the very end, the ball shifts 3 inches, the ball shifts 2 inches. Just that slight shift in the ball takes the swing path off from hitting the barrel of the bat to hitting the end of the bat. You go from a home run to a little dribbler to first base, just off the very I know this is baseball nerd time. I know we don't really talk about this much, so I'm kind of excited. But it's a little bit just off of the sweet part of the bat, and the ball dribbles instead of soars. But it's the same thing with this truth in the Most High, because like you said, the Most High gonna throw that curveball. It's really more like the Most High throwing a cutter because of how quick the destruction is gonna be. So remember, like I said, a cutter is almost the same speed as the fastball. And that's gonna be the speed in which Babylon's destroyed. And I'm gonna just get this.
Bro. Hey, nigga, don't disrespect brothers on the panel, bro. You got one more time to talk shit, bro. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Crazy, man. The water, bro. Throw water, bro. These niggas out here just whatever. I ain't gonna get on the nigga.
Nah, nigga, you getting blocked, bro. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Niggas just you call it. I'm a fool, but I'm feeding you knowledge. Okay.
I had to step away. What that nigga say? He was talking shit.
Bro, he said, what is this fool talking about? Never mind joking. Good message. Nigga, get the fuck out of here.
I'm a fool, but I'm a fool. And I'm feeding you knowledge, but you got to fucking.
Hey, you know what it is? He's an example of what we talking about. This nigga literally could get the understanding of what we talking about for this truth, but he want to talk shit because nigga making a baseball analogy. See how dumb niggas are, bro?
Exactly, bro. Feeding using the analogy to feed you knowledge and information, but you in the comment section with a damn shirtless pig and ain't got ain't looking into the mirror like a bitch.
The man with the plan. This nigga ain't got no plan for righteousness, dumbass nigga, man.
I was about to say that's usually a bitch strategy. Say, oh, hello, I'm joking, nigga. It's like whatever, nigga. But yeah, go ahead, Swin.
A bitch picture and bitch mannerism, and I bet you ain't got no videos on your channel. As always, with niggas that try to come in the comment section talking shit. You check their channel, ain't got no motherfucking works. Never fails.
Speaking of which, bro, do not come on this fucking channel if you not in this truth. If you a worldly ass nigga and you not trying to get the spirit, I don't give a fuck about Fresh and Fit. I don't give a fuck about none of this dumb shit. We care about the Most High and feeding the sheep. If you don't like it, get the fuck off of my channel, bro. Get off of all of our brothers' channel, bro, because we're not rocking with you, bro. So go ahead, bro. So like,
Kong, hey, no, that was just some house cleaning, bro. That had to get done. The water for initiating that, because I didn't even see the comments. So the water for checking that. But I just want to get this up. This is Revelation 18:10. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, the great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. So, I mean, look, I'm not saying it's going to be a direct hour. I'm not saying it's going to be 60 minutes on the dot that Babylon's going to be destroyed. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's going to be quick. It's going when you look back at it, in hindsight, it's going to look like a blink of an eye. Just like, and I'm going to go back to the baseball analogy, fuck nigga. Just like when a fastball comes in, it's like they actually say that when the batter is facing like a 90 plus mile an hour fastball, if you blink, you've missed the pitch because the speed is moving so fast. So it's like just like that fastball coming in, it's moving so fast, but the Most High is gonna throw it off. Like the speed of this society is on the go, fast pace, and the Most High is gonna keep that going. Like everything's gonna be moving in society when the mark of the beast or the MLB is on the scene. Everything's gonna be moving in society, but the Most High is gonna throw a quick, sharp turn into society, and that's gonna be when his son comes back and just wrecks all hell. And it's gonna be quick when he does it too. That's that cutter, man. That's that cutting motion that he's gonna throw with the ball, and it's gonna go off the normal chain of events. And everybody that was thriving and moving, it's just like when a hitter's hitting a fastball and they hit the meat, it hits the sweet spot of the bat, hits the meat of the bat, the barrel of the bat, and sends that thing flying. Now, when that cutter is thrown, you're gonna be hitting the end of the bat, and you're gonna be falling by the wayside. Send it flying, people thrive, and people got their MOBs, they living in society, they moving and shaking, they operate, because there's gonna be an operating society going on. They like the scriptures say, he disappointed the devices of the crafty, meaning the crafty, their society is gonna be moving and shaking and whatnot, but he's gonna disappoint it when his son comes back and rains all hell in this place, and that's gonna be that cutter. That's gonna be when he throws that quick shift of events, and then
you could see it with that back with the V card. I mean, the Most High, he was telling us it was gonna be mandated. Then come and we was like, oh shit, flood. But at the end of the day, it didn't come through. But the thing is, we still ready for whatever. You might have been a dumb nigga, and you might have just not been paying attention to nothing, and you just seen the title like, oh, I gotta go, and then boom. Or you could be a nigga where you see that and you think, oh, you know, Malak, Ghetto Genius, D-Ben, I ain't even used to my Hebrew name yet. Ash-Abad, you know, he was telling us all this, and they capping. Then next week, your ass get a mandated vaccine that affects you directly. So you got to always keep your eye on the ball. You got to always keep your eye on what's going on in front of you, like Malak is saying, bro, because it can come at you in all different ways if you're not prepared for it.
Exactly. It's gonna throw you off real quick. It's gonna be sharp. It's gonna be quick, but it's gonna be power. That's the spirit. Let's go ahead and go to it, man. That's the spirit. Let's go ahead and go to it. I didn't even plan on saying that. That's the spirit, man. Let's go to Hebrews, the 4th chapter. This is Hebrews 4:12. For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful, and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. So it's quick and it's powerful. The words of the Lord are that way, and so are his judgments, so are his prophecies, so are his everything being fulfilled that he's coming to bring on this society. His pain, his wrath is sharp, it's quick, and it's powerful. It's not drawn out. Well, I mean, it can be if he wants it to, but it's gonna feel drawn out in the moment. But like when you look at it from hindsight, it's gonna be like nothing. It's gonna be like a blink of an eye because of how quick that pain is gonna come on this society, man. Yahweh Shai gonna crack open the skies. He gonna raise up his elect. He gonna shoot down the missiles. We gonna raise up. That we gonna start shooting down missiles. It's gonna seem like a blink of an eye. We're gonna get those immortal bodies. That's even gonna be a quick process. D-Ben read earlier in 1 Corinthians 15 how in the twinkling of an eye we will get the immortal bodies. So it's like when the Most High, his judgment, his power, when that shit coming down, man, it's gonna be quick. It's gonna be like lightning speed.
Mm-hmm.
But it's gonna be to sinners though, it's gonna seem like a drawn out full on onslaught of pain. And I want to go to second Esdras. Yeah, go ahead.
Were you going to go to second Esdras 16?
Yeah, I was going to
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, this is second Esdras 16, and I'm gonna start at the 14th verse. Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return until they come to the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward. Even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of their scourges. Behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon the earth, and they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy, and dead shall be cast out the dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. For the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down. There shall be no man left to till the earth and to sow it. And then it just goes into analogies after that. But I mean, that's just one example of the anguish. Like this is gonna be all. This is literal. All of this is literal. That's just an example of the anguish and the pain that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is gonna bring. And if you dwell within the world, you're gonna feel all this. It's gonna feel like why did Ezra say, "Woe is me, woe is me"? Who will deliver me? Because that's gonna be a long, drawn out process of plague after plague. You escape this, you got through this, and you're gonna have to go through it. I mean, you're gonna have to you're gonna have to push through that pain that's coming, but you escape the pain of famine. All right, next you're gonna know you're gonna have to get the sword. You ran away from UN soldiers. All right, next thing you know, you're gonna have to deal with animals trying to eat you. All right, the next thing you know, you might get drafted into World War III, and that's definitely gonna be the end of you when you go over there. If you done, that's most definitely gonna be your ending. But it's gonna be a long, drawn out process of pain, just like the plagues in Egypt, like it says in 2nd Esdras, the 15th chapter, man. So if you in the world, you gonna feel it. But to us who are Lord willing of the hopeful elect, we gonna have to go through certain things as well. But in the midst of all that, we gonna get raised up, and then we gonna take part in the pain that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is raining upon the world and the sinners that dwell within the world. So it's gonna seem like a blink of an eye to us, but to you, the sinners out there, it's gonna be a long, drawn out process. So get ready.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add on to the fact the brother mentioned how it mentions that how Babylon's going to be destroyed in 1 hour. Obviously, it doesn't mean a literal hour, but it's talking about a brief moment in time. And that's actually funny. 2nd Esdras, the 16th chapter, kind of goes into that discussion as well. I want to pick up where Swint left off, but I want to go to verse 37 of 2nd Esdras, the 16th chapter. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringing forth her son, within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not for a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the word shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. Meaning what? When that time of great destruction comes, it like the analogy says, when a woman is pregnant, you know, she goes through a 9-month period, and then all of a sudden, bang, her water bursts. She's in great pain. She needs to deliver that baby. But the entire process is only for a brief moment. That's how this destruction is going to be. When the Most High is ready for the destruction to happen, boom, it's going to happen, and it's going to hurt a lot. But after that pain, then we going to get our kingdom. Because we going to be born, man.
That's facts, bro. And also, too, when it comes to the pregnancy, they might give you an expected date, but you never really know when the baby going to drop. It could happen at any moment. So that's where you always got to be ready and stay ready.
Exactly. The Most High said himself, he comes like a thief in the night, man. So we have the signs, but the day and the hour, no man knows. Even our Lord and Savior, Yahushua himself, doesn't know.
Hey, calm, bro. And, you know, at the end of the day, bro, it's just like, I mean, bro, you just got, man, you just got to do everything you can, bro. And like I said, be rocking the right spirit. And the only thing you can do is just evaluate what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, bro. Because this shit is all predestined, bro. Like, and bro, you just don't want to be the nigga where you just felt like everything was on your side, man. It's like the equivalent of being like the perfect player to be in the NBA, and then you just like basically, bro, this is what's happening. We done been raised up from junior league to high school to what's that shit called? Not some AAU to summer league to, you know, prep school to college, 4-year. You in the summer league, you got drafted, and then you just a Kwame Brown bust life ass nigga. you just hit the league and you didn't do shit, man. You know, you went into the stage of the NBA big league, dog. You were just a fucking flop, man, compared to a brother like some brothers, you know, you had high expectations and you made it. And then some brothers like Draymond Green or Ben Wallace or Donovan Mitchell or what's that nigga name? Malcolm Brogdon. Like, nobody really thought of you, and boom, you just flourished. So, you know, you just got to pray that the Most High allows you to make the quote unquote the Hall of Fame, man, because that's what the elect really is, man. And at the end of the day, man, it's just, it all comes down to fate. Like Kobe said in one of his videos, you know, that nigga Luciferian. But, you know, I remember I was watching his videos before I was in the truth, and he was talking to a dude, and he's like, I prepared myself and I did everything I could because I wanted to get 6, man. I wanted to get 6, you know, obviously like Jordan, but, you know, it wasn't in my cards to get 6, but I did everything possible for myself to get there. At the end of the day, bro, it's just, you got to do everything possible for you to get there. But the main thing that you got to have, bro, is you just gotta have faith that Yahweh's gonna deliver you in that time. Because I mean, bro, without him, bro, you're not gonna be able to do anything, bro.
Con. I mean, without the Most High on your side, you done. I mean, that's just the fact of the matter. You, it's a lot. You gonna need him, on your side in that day, because why not have the power who's bringing the same pain be protecting you from the destruction? He knows exactly, like the Most High is so cold, where it's like he's bringing all the pain. He knows exactly. He knows at every single point in time where exactly he's bringing which specific plague and how and the veracity of which one. So because he knows all, he's controlling it all. So if you're in his good graces, he knows, okay, I have servants here. He got checkpoints. I mean, I'm just speaking as a man. I don't know what's going on in the mind of the Most High. I definitely don't know what's going on in the mind of the Most High. But I'm just imagining from my man imagination. He got checkpoints in his head. Okay, I got servants here, got servants at this point, got servants at this point. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna bring the pain here because I see some unbelievers right here trying to hide out. All right, I'm gonna bring some motherfucking grizzly bears or some shit to come and kill them. But I'm not gonna bring them over here where my servants are. I'm gonna put like a invisible force field where they can't get there. Some shit like that. I'm just kind of theorizing and all that. But that's how it's gonna be. The Most High is gonna bring certain plagues at certain spots and certain parts, but he's not gonna touch his elect, like the scriptures say. Will he avenge his very elect? It ain't gonna come and touch the holy, touch the righteous, but it's definitely gonna touch the sinners. And I just want to get this. This is the book of Isaiah, the 13th chapter, and the 6th verse. How ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand, it shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. So the destruction is coming from the Almighty. He's controlling it all. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt, and they shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrow shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. So we just read in Second Esdras, the 16th chapter, they even brought out the woman and the childbirth in terms of how the setting that's going to be on Babylon, how it's going to be that quick. You know what I'm saying? Like when a woman is with child and whatnot, when that child has come, man, that shit is quick and powerful and ready to get out, man. And nothing you can do to control it. That's gonna be the wrath of Yahweh Shai, man. It's gonna be like when a woman travailing. When that baby, when she in labor, that baby ready to come out. Regardless of what you think, regardless of what she want, that baby is ready to come out quickly, and it wants to come out as soon as possible. So that's gonna be the same thing that's gonna happen to Babylon. Continuing on. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he destroy, and it's like, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. So all the sinners, man, gonna be done. All the sinners are gonna be the Most High's marking all the sinners. The Most High's marking everybody for destruction. The Most High's marking everybody whose eyes and his ears are not set upon him. So he knows exactly where you are. He knows exactly. There ain't no hiding from the Most. You may be able to hide from Esau, Edom's UN soldiers, and the regular American soldiers who gonna work for Esau, Edom in that day as well. You'll be able to hide from them. You'll be able to hide from the FEMA camp. You'll be able to hide from the National Guard. But you can't hide from Yahweh Shai.
You can't hide from the fire, bro.
You can't hide from that fire, man. You can't hide from that pressure, man.
Ooh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, I was just reading this in 1 Corinthians, dog. This is the book of 1 Corinthians, Sloppy. And where it's talking about the fire. Let me see, bro. I'm gonna get it real quick. Just give me a second, bro.
All right, Con, while you get that, I'm gonna get this right here. This is the book of Proverbs, the 15th chapter, the 3rd verse. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. So what is the evil? The evil is the sinners. What is the good? The good is the elect. So he beholds, he sees the actions and the workings of the evil and the good. So he knows he knows who is set for destruction, and he knows who's set for salvation, because he's the one bringing it all to light. He's the one bringing it all to pass, man. So he knows exactly what. So he knows what them sinners gonna be, what they're gonna be trying to hide out, what they're gonna be trying to stave out from the New World Order and all that. You know, he knows all the protection mechanisms that they got within them. He knows all the underground bunkers and all the hidden doors and all the underground cities, even dealing with the nobility of this society. He knows about all the underground cities they got and all that, man. Ain't no one getting away from the Most High, you know. So that's coming. That's coming to Babylon, and I'm gonna go down to I'm gonna get verse 11. And I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. So, but I'm gonna go to verse 12 too, because we see the difference in the two. We see one is a slate for the sinners, and one is slate for the elect men of the Most High, because like we read in Proverbs 15:3, beholding the evil and the good. The evil being them sinners, the evil being that proud and that arrogant, that wicked, the ones the Most High is gonna lay low hold to. I mean, the Most High is gonna bring down and set up for destruction, man. The ones who he's gonna let all the plagues of the famine, the sword, you know, the getting drafted to World War III, you know, all of that, man, getting captured and eaten by a wild animal. Having your neighbors come over to your crib and eat you, you know, people find their babies, all that cannibalism is gonna go rampant. All of that, man. That's all the plagues that set, you know, for the sinners. But let's go to verse 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. So he's gonna make an elect man more precious than fine gold. So think of the finest gold in the world. That's going an elect man of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua gonna be at a much higher level than that. Meaning what? The value that you know, when someone's precious, precious metal is a very valuable metal because it's rare. Meaning the Most High is gonna take certain men who've stayed true to him, like Solomon said. I searched the city and found one righteous man and no righteous women. Just roughly paraphrasing that. So that one righteous man out of 1,000 is going to be that man that the Most High is going to make fine gold, because Lord will we are those men. We're going to be so rare in that day. So you see how the Most High is balanced in all his ways. He's going to bring all kinds of plagues and hell on the wicked, but he's going to bring all kinds of salvation, righteousness, and glory to his elect at the same time, and purge the elect right up out of that, man. You know, so that's coming.
Hey, and you know, I'm gonna say these precepts and we have our final piece, because you know D-Ben gotta go to sleep and that nigga Ghetto Genius already sleeping. But Kaz, he made a good point. He said he read Samuel, 1st and 2nd Samuel. He think brothers can learn a lot. You know, he said David and Saul were both called. They both sinned grievously.
Wait a minute.
Don't do that.
Now let me be honest. Let me be honest.
You were asleep, nigga. Yep.
No. Let me be honest. You know what I'm saying? Nigga got a lot going on. My body was about to give out. But y'all niggas getting you deleting that nigga's knocking that nigga out the live. That's what woke me back up, bro. You said, "Dude, get the fuck out the stream." I was like, wait.
Hey, that nigga Ghetto Genius, his nigga moment senses came to. Hey, but hey, you got anything you want to say? Because I'm about to read these few precepts, because I'm about to read these.
I'll just say it for the closing statement. You good?
All right, so I want to get this and harken on this point. He said David and Saul were both called. They both sinned grievously, but the Most High stayed with David. I think it's because David always looked toward the Most High. Now, it's probably, look, man, y'all got to understand something. Like, every single brother on this panel, every single brother in the chat, we going to have moments in the Great Tribulation where we get weak. I do not give a fuck what type of man you are. Now, even Yahweh Shah was calling to the Most High, asking him to take away the lot that he had to come. And Yahweh Shah was perfect in the eyes of the Most High, man. So at the end of the day, bro, there's never going to be a moment where you as a man, where you do not feel weak and you have to rely on the Most High. Said it in Zechariah 13:8. those who call upon my name in that day. It's not like the Most High gonna make you the fucking Terminator and you gonna get around and nothing's gonna happen to you. You gonna have to call on his name. You gonna have to draw near to him. It's not gonna be a day where you get to be glorified for yourself. That'll happen in the kingdom. He'll glorify you. In that day, he's gonna ask and look to see who's gonna be humble and who's gonna call upon the Lord for deliverance, man. And that's what I want to get in 1 Samuel 16:7. It says, but the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance or on the height or his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth. For man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord look on the heart. Meaning what? Regardless of all the things outside, ugly, comely countenance, whatever it may be, it's about how you rocking within your mind and your spirit on the inside. And then I want to flip to John 4 and again 22. 21. Yahweh said unto her, woman, believe me, the hour cometh when you shall neither in this mountains nor yet as Jerusalem worship the Father. You worship ye know not what, meaning you don't know what you worship. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. But the hour cometh, and now is, when a true worshiper shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship him. Yahweh is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. Meaning what? Don't worship him on the outside like a Pharisee. Like, honestly, a lot of these niggas in Israel who's doing everything for vainglory. Not most of the brothers that I see, but there's a lot of brothers, I ain't gonna get on you, bro. I was gonna call out a rapper, nigga, but I ain't gonna get on you. But you got to do it from the right spirit, the right energy. And I want to read this in 1 Corinthians. This is chapter 3, verse 9. It says, for we are laborers together with Yahweh. You are the Most High's husbandry. You are the Most High's building. According to the grace of the Most High, which is given unto me as a wise master builder, I have laid the foundation, and another buildeth thereon. But let everyone take heed how he buildeth thereon. Meaning what? Paul was saying that we are the Most High's husbandry. We're laborers of the Most High. He's laying the foundation as we speak. But another people are building. The next generations are building and building and building. You see what I'm saying? Nah, it's not Kendrick Lamar. It's the brother in the truth. Who knows about the truth? Nigga talking about get off my fringes. This nigga, nigga not even wearing. Hey, bro, I ain't even gonna get into that. I'm gonna do a video about it. But continuing on, what I was saying, the Yahweh Shai did it. Then the Holy 12. Then the disciples that came after him. Then the apostle came after him. Paul, he laid the foundation. We continuing to work. We almost finishing the work right now, man. But verse 11, it says, for other foundation can no man lay that is laid, which is Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Now, if any man build upon this foundation, gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, stubble, every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire. Meaning what? By spirit. That's why John the Baptist said Yahweh Shai will baptize by fire. Meaning what? Whether his spirit, that spirit is going to be inside of you, man. And that fire shall try every man's work of what sort is. Meaning what? Yahweh Shai is going to look and reveal and see what you really built of, what you really have. Verse 14, if any man's work abide which he have built thereupon, he shall receive a reward. Meaning what? If you have a true foundation in Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, your foundation, you remember what Yahweh Shai said, you're going to build your foundation on rocks or sand. When the tribulation come, are you going to stay sturdy? Are you going to falter and get blown with the wind, get blown with the heathen, man? So verse 14, if any man work abide which he have built thereon, he shall receive a reward. If any man work shall be burned, he shall suffer loss, but he himself shall be saved, yet so as by fire. So you got to understand, we got to go through that fire. We got to go through that tribulation, through that refinement period. And only those who have truly been building that foundation in the Most High, Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, is going to be delivered by the deliverer, bro. It's really that simple. So check and evaluate yourself daily, because a lot of y'all is built. You got a building and your foundation is crooked, bro. It's getting more and more crooked as you continue to build and build and build. And at the end of the day, man, a quick little airplane can just hit you and blow you up, man, just like that. But do y'all got any closing statements, man? Because we got to end it before we get dragged out too long.
Khan, I guess I'll go ahead and start. I'll start with that. I just want to get a couple precepts, and I'm gonna let the precepts do majority of the talking, man. And because one of the main reasons why ultimately your works don't mean shit, if you take the MOB, take the charagma, it's because there's no repentance for the charagma, man. Like that could taking the MOB, the charagma, you know, and for y'all who don't know, that's the mark in the Greek. But there's the reason why there's no, you know, there's that it's so grievous to do so, and ultimately, if you do so, it's like, I mean, it's like you would. It's as if you were never in the truth, because one of the main reasons is because there's no repentance for it. You know, if you take it, you done. That's it. It's OV for you. No coming back ever. Like that's how serious the Most High is about this. Majority of sins you can come back from. Majority, 99.8% of sins you can come back from. There's a couple that you can't come back from, and the MOB is one of them. So it's like you got to get this right, because if you don't, hey, you're gonna get caught up. You're gonna get caught up in that destruction, and there's nothing that you could do to turn back from it ever. You're done forever. So I'm gonna get Revelation the 14th chapter, and I'm gonna start at the 8th verse. And there followed another angel. Actually, I'm gonna start the 7th verse, saying with a loud voice, "Fear Yahweh and give glory to Him, for the hour of His judgment is come, and to worship Him that made heaven and earth, and the sea, and the fountains of the waters." And there followed another angel saying, "Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication." And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, "If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever. And they shall have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name." So, I mean, like I said, I'm just let the precept do the talking on that. Case in point, hey, there's no coming back from taking the mark. You're going everlasting judgment. You know, so you can't. That's one of the main reasons why it don't mean nothing if you take that charagma, because once that charagma enters your body, man, you have submitted yourself fully. You have now cast your ballot for fire and brimstone. Book it. Case in point, and you've cast your lot to be trodden in the wine press, to be trodden in that cup of his indignation without mixture, meaning just onslaught of terror onto you. However the Most High sees fit for you to get it, that's how you're gonna get it if you take that charagma. So that's one of the main reasons why it don't mean nothing if you take that. It's as if you were working iniquity the whole time, because of the wrath that the Most High is gonna come down on you. It's gonna be as if you worked iniquity. It's gonna be as if you were never in the truth. That's how bad and that's how terrible the power is going. That's how terrible the judgment is gonna be. It's as if you were. It's as if you were cursing the Most High's name every day. It's the same thing, because you ultimately cursed him at the end. You called on his name beforehand, but you ultimately, when it mattered most, you cursed him by taking that charagma, man. And he's gonna show you how serious he is about you cursing him via his judgment. I'm gonna just read it one more time. I'm gonna read that 10 one more time. "The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation." Indignation is righteous anger. So that wrath without mixture, just on slight. You think about a drink. You think about say you got some whiskey or whatever. You mix it with some Coke to ease the taste, so that way it's not so bitter. That way it's not so strong for your mouth. But it helps ease the drink down. But the Most High's wine, the Most High's blood, that's gonna be poured out, just an onslaught of it, and it's not gonna be no chaser, not gonna be no mixture. It's gonna be an onslaught of terror. You're gonna feel every second of it. So that's what's coming. And I want to get Revelation the 16th chapter as well. This is Revelation 16:1. "And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying, 'Go to the 7 angels, go your ways, and pour out the vials of wrath of God upon the earth. And the first went, and that's gonna be that judgment, man. Them seven angels, we know four of them, but the rest of the other three, they coming, man. They coming, just they waiting, they waiting their time too. They waiting, they itching, they hungry to wrap this shit up, man. And the Most High, when he's ready, he's gonna give them the go to do so, and they gonna pour out all them vials, all that anger, all that indignation, that blood, everything we read in Revelation the 14th chapter, unleash the wine press, Leviathan. It's all coming, when the angels ready to get busy. Verse when Yahweh tells the angels to go ahead and get busy, I'd rather say. Verse 2, and the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sword upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worship his image. So, man, there's going to be great and grievous swords, man, upon all men that worship the mark, that worship the beast by taking that mark. It's going to be an onslaught of pain, like I said, just grievous, just you get hit with judgment after judgment after judgment. The Most High may have it where your body almost eats itself be it a famine, just enough to keep you alive, just so that you can get eaten up by a few mutts, just so you can be tormented by a few UN soldiers, just so you can finally get drafted in World War III, and then that's your end. That's how the judgment could be, where he just has an onslaught of pain and turmoil for you, or just so you can go get eaten up by Leviathan, or just so you can be tried in that wine press. Whichever he sees fit for you, he can have just an onslaught of judgment on judgment on judgment for your ultimate judgment at the end. So that's why you got to be so fearful of the Lord and don't take that mark. Because if you did, it's as if you were cursing him every single day of your life, the whole time when you was on earth. So with that, I just want to say Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shah. Lord, what is less was edifying. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Barakathum. To you brothers out there, the hopeful elect members out there, hopeful elect Tabernacle of David, and Shalom, Abba Ball, keep the faith.
Yeah, then real quick, I just wanted to add on to the main point. That's when I was talking about the mark. And for you, a lot of brothers might understand, why is that an unforgivable sin? Because when you take a mark, I mean, when you look at the word karagma, that's really a cutting of your flesh, and they're going to insert something into you. Mm-hmm. That's what they do to cattle, to chicken, to pigs, to goat, to basically merchandise. So at the end of the day, when you take that mark, you're declaring yourself as property to the beast. And when the Most High comes back to conquer, he's going to destroy everything associated with the beast, meaning you, because you're going to be the beast's property. And at the end of the day, Yahweh Shah himself said you can't serve two masters. And I want to get that precept. It's Matthew, the 6th chapter, starting at verse 24. No man can serve two masters, for either he'll hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve the Most High and Mammon. Now that word Mammon means money. And at the end of the day, it's pretty funny. A lot of you people who are going to take that mark of the beast is going to be because of money. He's like, damn, I'm not going to be able to buy food. I'm not going to be able to sell. And you have no creativity. You have no faith. You have no drive or ambition. So you're going to fold. You're not going to view any other options for you, because at the end of the day, you worship this society, which is all about the physical, the carnal, the material, as opposed to the Most High God in heaven. And because you don't worship the Most High God in heaven and don't have faith on him, you're going to choose Esau, your master, because he's right in front of you while the Most High has hid his face from you. But when he returns, like Swin read earlier, going to come back with fierce wrath, and he's going to have that wine press. And I just want to read one additional precept to get to that point. Isaiah, the 63rd chapter. One moment. And I wish I could just beam throughout the Bible instantly, man. Okay, yes. Isaiah, the 63rd chapter, verse 1. Who is he that cometh from Edom with dyed garments for Basra, that is the glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness might be to save. Wherefore art thou red in thy apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat? I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will slay all my raiment. And I will stain all my raiment. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. So this is just going to let you know when Yahushua returns on the scene, he's going to kill you, kill all of you. You know, a lot of people are taught, you know, God is love, just believe in Jesus and everything's going to be all right. You're going to die. You're going to die a bloody, gruesome death, and you're going to be screaming and talking about Jesus. Why? And he's like, he's not even going to say anything to you. He's just going to kill you because you're not shit. But I'll just leave it at that. So for you brothers to think about, because at the end of the day, if you don't want to be one of these people who are just brutally murdered, either with fire or maybe fucking one of the angels or the Most High himself will come down from the chariot and just stab your ass or stomp on your skull or dash your head against the stones like we're going to do to a lot of you Edomites, as it says in the scriptures. If you are a brother and you know you're of the people of the book and you know there's a chance for you to be saved and redeemed, what you got to do, man, is hearken unto Yahushua. Because again, he's the bread of life. From him comes living water, which meaning what? With him, you're going to have a true understanding of the scriptures. And when you have that true understanding of the scriptures, you'll be able to live.
Hey, nigga.
What?
Oh, my bad. You know your shit be echoing. I'm saying that's the spirit, nigga. I'm reading the precept. I'll tell you the precept when it come out.
Okay, yeah. And the last thing No, I'll just close it at this. Y'all brothers just need to focus on reading the scriptures and growing in the faith. Shalom, Israel.
Hey, man, D-Ben, that was facts, bro. Like you said, man, you calling out quote unquote Jesus. He gonna kill you. That he gonna kill you because that's not even his name. He's just gonna kill you like you didn't even exist, like you didn't even say anything. Because in all reality, you didn't say anything. That's just you. All you did was just read a word on a paper. There's no spirit. There's no real spirituality behind that word or behind that name per se. At best, it's just a English nickname at best. But that's not going to work in those days. And in all reality, like Brandon said, you're building shaky. The more as you grow, if you're trying to grow in this truth, but your doctrine is off, all you're doing is just building a shaky building. Which and the reason why you're doing that is because you're adding and taking. You're trying to add to the knowledge, which in all reality you're taking away from it at the same time. Which, I mean, come on, man. Which brings that to the last precept, Revelation 22. Verse 18, Yahushua's final warning. For I testify to everyone of Israel who hears the words of the prophecy of this book. If anyone of Israel, and Israel only, adds to these things, the Most High will add to him the plagues that are written in this book. And if anyone of Israel only takes away from the words of the book of this prophecy, the Most High shall take away his part from the book of life, from the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book. He who testifies to these things says, surely I am coming quickly. Amen. Even so, come, Lord Yahushua, not quote unquote Jesus, in the grace of our Lord Yahushua. Huh?
I was waiting for you to say that shit.
You know, Jesus, but anyway.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
I had to throw it in there.
The grace of our Lord. Yeah. Yahushua Mashiach, aka Jesus Christ, but you know, well, be with you all. Amen. So, amen. Build as you grow in this truth. Make sure you're building it sturdy. Make sure you're always examining yourself and your doctrine and Kwam Yashala, man. Keep it going to the end.
Hey, come on, bro. And it's honestly the spirit, because I was thinking about bringing out this precept, but I got another precept. But the brother, the KS, man. And for those of y'all who be listening, man, y'all brothers drop more precepts in the chat, man. You know what I'm saying? Drop them up. We got to make this shit look like GMS, man. Drop them. Damn. Drop them precepts, man. But this is the book of Matthew 7:22. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And I have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful wonders. And this is the precept that I'm going to add on. And then I will profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you that work iniquity. Therefore, whoever heareth these saying of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the wind blew and beat upon the house, and it fell not, and it was founded upon a rock. And everyone that heareth the saying of mine and doeth not them shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell upon, and great was the fall of it. And I just want to get this in mark, because this was what I was talking about before D-Ben said what he said. I was looking at this precept. This is the book of Mark, chapter 10, verse 38. But Yahushua said unto him, you know not what you ask. Can you drink of the cup that I drink of, and be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with? And they said unto him, we can. And Yahushua said unto them, you shall indeed drink of the cup that I drink of, and with the baptism that I am baptized withal shall you be baptized. But to sit on my right hand and on my left hand is not mine to give, but it shall be given to them for whom it is prepared. And that's just in reference to the understanding of the scriptures, man. Those who have an ear, let them hear. You know, at the end of the day, you know, and this could be a stumbling block. Is a stumbling block for me. It's just the baptism of the word, man. You know, through what Yahushua is. He's the living water. Again, bro. You know, you can't be a dry bone in this truth, man. You gotta be dripping, my nigga. You gotta and not dripping, not no carnal shit. For those of you niggas who think you gotta be dripping to pull holes, nah, you dripping in the spirit, you dripping in the knowledge, bro. You know, hey man, it is what it is. And I'll end it on this. You know, when you get baptized, just like Yahushua, you reign with him. So this is Revelation 20:4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto him. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither have received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they live and reign with Yahushua 1,000 years. But the rest of the dead live not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death hath no power. But they shall be priests of the Most High and of Yahushua, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. So, hey man, I'm going to end it with that. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushua. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of the nation of Yasharallah. Shalom to y'all brothers, man.